So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the.
All right, guys, happy Tuesday, August 8th. Welcome back. Got the camera working after rebooting the system. Got the wife picked up from yoga. Went and got our Lagunitas Maximus IPA based on your recommendation. It is the chill time of the night, the time where we ease into the evening after we've had a full day to digest AMC, the stock market, what's coming next. This will hopefully be a little more relaxed, and we can answer some more of your questions. If we got trolls and shills in here tonight, mods, let them ask their question. We're gonna ask them to explain their own question to us. So we look forward to that. Should be fun. And as long as people are being, not being jerks, in which case, boot them the hell out of here. But if they have questions about Adam Aaron, FTDs, yada, 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 we're going to read that question and then ask them to answer it. We're going to turn the tables tonight. We're going to have some fun. Dana, what's up? Shin Kyoko, good evening. Physiologist 72, Maggie, howdy, howdy. Punchy Nuts in the house. Gia Mortal, good evening. Michael, Anya, thank you for modding tonight. Maximus, I just sent you an invite to the voice channel. Pam, once Maximus accepts, I'll get you one if you don't have one. If you want to talk. Blazin, join us in Discord voice. I'd like to have some of you guys help educate the audience too, at least how we do things in our Discord, so it doesn't always just sound like Tony Denaro is the bad guy. Guys, there are literally thousands of investors that are looking at this play based on fundamentals and financials, and I can assure you that I am not alone in doing that. We're not in 2021 anymore. We are in 2023, and this company is running out of cash, and we're all anxiously awaiting for a settlement on this lawsuit so that the company doesn't have to contemplate some future quarter ahead, not tomorrow, not next week, not next quarter, but in the next year, bankruptcy. So I can understand, as I said earlier, why that's not a popular thing, and I get it. Believe me, I get it. No one likes dilution. I'm right there with you. All I'm trying to do at this point is explain to you what is the most likely outcome, as I said earlier, so that if you're stuck listening to clickbait and hopium, you can maybe have one alternative viewpoint that you might not like. I get it. But that you can't ever say no one told you so. No one who loves this company and who loves movies, you can't say that that guy didn't tell you what the financial statements meant, what was going on with cash, why the company is doing what it's doing, so that you can make appropriate decisions for your portfolio here in August 2023, knowing what we know is likely to happen. Is there a guarantee that the settlement will be approved? No. But as I said, I'm very concerned if it's not approved that we're going to see 60, 100 plus million whittled off the balance sheet every quarter going forward, and we only got 435 million left. And that's not a great scenario either. None of us that are sane, anyways, want to contemplate the entire shareholder base getting wiped out in a Chapter 11. The company will survive. The company will restructure. It'll be handed over to the lenders. They'll parcel it up. Shareholders will be wiped out. And none of us that are sane think that that is a great option. There's really not a lot of great options at this point, right? When you're invested in a company that is stuck in this position, you have some hard choices. So that's what we're here to talk about. That's where we're at. And let's see what questions you guys got tonight. Who else we got in the chat? Jack Wolf, what's up, amigo? Long time no see. I saw you in the chat earlier, Jack. Sammy GG. Game. What is my opinion of Lou? I don't watch any of the clickbait channels. Anybody that can't talk to you about a spreadsheet, a balance sheet, an income statement, anybody that's pumping this synthetic share, tell me that when you bought your shares and I'll let you know if they're real or synthetic. Lou is the origin of all of the bullshit that everybody believes in this play. And I just, unless I'm really want to laugh, I don't watch his channel. But I get it. You guys are watching it and you're being fed all the bullshit, but I would urge you to break away. He's a masterful YouTuber, a funny guy to listen to, but almost nothing that he says is based in fact. He's got the gift of gab, and he's entertaining, and he's funny. I get it. But please do not be taking trading decisions from that channel. Isaac says, Zip Trader just came out and spent 10 minutes explaining there is no reason to dilute or reverse split. Yeah, I like Charlie. I mean, I listened to Charlie in late 2020, early 2021. Haven't listened to him since then. Nice guy, great delivery, very charismatic. He's what we call a tout service. He'll let you know what's coming. You got to take everything he tells you about with a grain of salt. Get in early, get out early, and use it for that. Just like there's tout accounts on Twitter, pumpers we call them. Use them as that sort of tool, and you'll probably be okay. I'll go watch his video why he thinks that they don't need to dilute or reverse split. But yeah, let's just let AMC run their cash out. No need to raise money. 8 million, Maximus, 8 million. Surely if we're posting profits of 8 million, that'll be fine, right? Doesn't matter that we burned 65 million. Everybody's focused on the 8. Isn't it funny how that works? They see 8 million and they just totally ignore the balance sheet where we lost 65 million. I don't know. What do you think? Jack says, what do I think about that guy Ham? Ham is another tout service. He totally he's great for calling out some plays. He's horrible at telling you when to exit. He does not understand. I know he knows how he understands, and I know he thinks he understands how the market works. And believe me, I've commented on 1 or 2 of his posts. I try not to bother these guys because everyone wants a good pump, but I will chime in from time to time when he's pumping it past the point to get out, like GTII. I mean, it was easy to call when that thing topped out. He's still pumping it. Like, come on, Ham. He wrote it down from the high all the way to 77 cents, pumping it all the way down. Come on, man. Great channel to watch for what is the next pump. Don't believe him on anything else. Blazin says, I think they're silly chickens. Yeah, right. Scott, what's up? Cheers to everybody having a cold one tonight. Salud. We're going to smoke up a cigar here in just a minute. Waiting for somebody to bring a really shilly trolley comment at us so they can answer it for us. Let us know which one or what I think of it. This is by, who is that? Maximus asking me that? Yeah, this is the Lagunitas Maximus Colossal IPA, 9% ABV, brewed in Petaluma, California. But I'm pretty sure, at least I thought, that Lagunitas was a Texas brewery. But this is actually brewed in California. I could be wrong. It's not super hoppy like you had told me. It's not as bad. I don't like a hoppy IPA. It's just right, Maximus. Yeah, excellent recommendation. Thank you. I've never had this one before. Obviously, I've had Lagunitas. but not this particular one. Yes. Yep. Pam, did you need an invite to the voice chat? If you do, let me know in the chat and I'll send it over to you on Discord. Sonny says, how about another collab with Markets with May? She did another great breakdown of the financial statement. Yeah, I have not watched anybody's breakdown yet. It's been just a super busy day here today. I'll tell you what, I got up at 6:30 and my task for the morning was to get the front brakes changed on the truck. And I was walking out to the garage to do that, and I saw that AMC, surprise, had dropped earnings early. So I came in, sat down, made sure the prices weren't moving. Then I went out and did all of the brake work on the front of the truck. And then I had to take my wife to work. Then I come back. I was worn out. 7 o'clock in the morning, my shirt was soaked. Fucking truck tires are heavy as hell. I was dehydrated. I was beat up. I just relaxed till about lunchtime, watching the news, checking on social media, what everyone was saying on AMC, and got ready for the afternoon live stream. And then just been going nonstop all day, other than that little rest break. So I have not watched anybody else's recaps. I will do that later tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm curious what May has to say. I'd love to have her on again. In fact, I tried. Some of y'all might have seen the video. My son was up in New York for his college summer internship. He is back in Texas now. He was working for a real estate private equity firm up there as part of his degree program. You know, if you're in college, especially if you're doing a accelerated 5-year combo bachelor's master's program like he has to do 2 internships. So he had New York this summer. He's going to California next summer. He's already got that one locked in. He met with Chris, one of the viewers of our channel, and I posted that video for you guys on Twitter if you want to see and hear from my kiddo. But I also asked him to try and meet up with May, two YouTubers I know up there in New York. I told him to go look for Lou in the park, but he couldn't find him. But him and May were not able to meet up for whatever reason, scheduling issues. My kid does not work for Citadel. No, it's literally it was an 8-week, 7-week job, as many of your kids have done for internships for school. And it was for a real estate firm. And you've been reading those troll comments from the haters, haven't you? These guys, man, it's better than a fucking comedy show on Twitter these days. I tell you what, Tony's son works for a hedge fund. Tony's son working for Citadel. Tony's probably getting paid. Bitch, nobody pays me. You're getting my unfiltered, unvarnished, 10 grit, very, very unpopular thoughts. Let me get this cat out of my way. Anyways, Anya says Markets with May is brilliant. Is that mediocre? I heard in the chat. Mediocre trader. He's not a horrible trader, guys. He's not an excellent trader. He is mediocre. Welcome. What do you think of the earnings today? So you're saying that we've been telling our folks for the past week exactly what happened today was what was going to happen? Yes, that is a fact. We have been communicating to our team, it's not really a team, but our viewers, our subscribers, the members in the Discord, both mediocre and mine, exactly what would happen today, and exactly what you saw on the price chart was what we've been predicting for the last week. So good job, mediocre. Round of applause. A round of applause. You are the man. You are the man, mediocre. How are you so smart? How did you know it was going to happen? Oh, wait, you read a filing? Documentation? Okay. That seemed that. Who? Is Super Steven in? Steven, what did you think was going to happen today when earnings came out? He's being quiet. He's probably trying to figure out how to get his microphone to work. All right. R. Baglio says they can't hear you. Let me make sure I have desktop audio on. Desktop audio is on. I can hear it in here. You guys can't hear it. So let me check my system settings. All right. It's on speaker. Can someone speak now?
Hello.
Can you guys hear him now? Did you hear Grandpa say hello? Grandpa, do you work for Citadel?
Only on the weekends.
All right, they hear you now. Grandpa, how you doing?
I'm good.
Grandpa, tell us a little bit about yourself for all these damn trolls that think you work for Citadel and pay us to tell. Don't tell us, be careful because there are some crazy people out there. But what do you do for a job, Grandpa?
I am a high voltage lineman, and my title is electric first responder. I respond to power outages, 911 calls.
Grandpa, under penalty of perjury, have you ever given a script to a YouTuber to tell them what to say?
I have never.
All right. So why do you think these people are so fucking Looney Tunes to accuse you of stuff like that?
Because I give my hard-earned money to the super chats to people that I feel like I want to give something back to them for all that they do.
So of your own volition, because you're a nice guy and you're trying to support people that you enjoy listening to, you give them a super chat and then people just make up stories about you. How's that make you feel?
Fuck them.
Fuck them. You heard it. Mediocre, are you paid by Citadel?
I wish. No, unfortunately, I'm not.
I've yet to run across anybody that I think is paid by anybody. I think there's just a lot of passionate people sharing their own thoughts and opinions, and if people don't like it, the first thing they do is try and smear you with all that nonsense bullshit. I saw a big...
We all got jobs, Tony. We all got jobs.
I know.
For the record, Tony, I don't... I'm not even monetized or any of that. I don't even push to be monetized. I just try to mind my own business and, do my own thing.
Mediocre, I've been listening to you and knowing you for a long time, and in my book, you're 100% vetted.
Put it to everybody out there. Grandpa works an average of probably 1,800 hours a year overtime. So
you have a lot of overtime, extra expendable money is basically what you're saying is you're rolling in overtime dough.
Yes, sir.
All right. Congrats to that. That's a hardworking man. So, well, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there, Grandpa.
Okay.
We appreciate hardworking folk. Every single one of you. Not just Grandpa, but every single one of you. You know, I busted my ass all my life. In my corporate job, I worked for one company for 15 years, working ungodly hours. I call it the longest 30-year, 15-year career I ever had. I mean, it was 15, but it felt like 30 because we worked our ass off. And while I was going to school, I had 2 jobs. While I was going to UT, I had 2 jobs. I've been working since I had a paper route in 6th grade, and I can appreciate all of you that are working hard. I was fortunate after my corporate job to be able to take a little break and do my own thing, and I've tried a lot of different things and finally found a few of them at work that let me earn an income from home. YouTube, not one of them. Go check Social Blade if you think I'm getting rich off of YouTube. I think it said last month I made $500. If you can live off of $500, I want to have you as a guest on this channel. That doesn't even cover the expenses I have for all these subscription sites, Ortex, Fintel, on and on. Morningstar doesn't even cover that.
You can't even live off $500 in the Philippines.
You can't run a good YouTube channel off $500. I tell you that. So I'm here because I care about you guys. I care about my investments, and I care about the nonsense and clickbait and bullshit that people are given. And that is why I'm here. Like I said, 2 years ago, when I started my channel, I was so mad at Trey and Matt for telling people to buy as it's running 50, 60, 70 bucks. As I'm selling my call options and pocket in a boatload of cash, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys telling people? So I'm here because I care. I'm here because I'm already sitting here trading anyways. Why not turn on the camera and try and help a few people out, recognize what clickbait is? But boy, those clickbaiters get ornery when you call them out, don't they, Grandpa?
He's muted, but they do.
Yes, they do.
Owen in the float,
Yes.
what's up? Gia Fam says, do I believe in synthetic or naked shares? Absolutely, yes. We know that there are many, many ways they can create synthetic shares. And we know that naked shorts even legally happen via market makers. Do I think they occur to the extent that people are telling you on other YouTube channels? I do not. I cover what is reported by Ortex and things like that, because I sure don't want to get in legal trouble like these other guys are. Can you imagine having 2 years of videos out there where you're lying to people, telling them there's trillions of fake shares out there, and then one day people's dreams don't come true? Who are they going to come after? The person who's been saying trillions of fake shares? Or are they going to come after me for reading you Ortex and industry reported data? Like, I'm giving you guys SEC documents, legitimate data. Does other stuff exist? Yes, but I can't quantify it, so I don't talk about it. And you want to call me the pumper? No, look at the 20 other channels that are spouting out nonsense that they have zero data for. That's who you need to hold accountable if this doesn't work out.
Somebody needs to send flowers to Zern.
Yeah, we
And a bottle of wine.
wish someone would send her some flowers, Grandpa.
Some vino, flowers,
Mike, owning the float, send her a box of candies and flowers from California, will you, buddy?
and a big hug.
Othello says, Tony said our team. I'm talking about, we have a huge group of folks in the Discord. We literally, guys, how many hours a day do we talk? All of y'all in the chat. What would you say?
About 9 hours out of 10 hours.
9 is conservative. I mean, 7 a.m. to midnight sometimes. There's a constant chat.
Yeah, we always go into FOMO mode and we jump back in.
Yeah, I mean, people come and go, but when I say our team, this is other investors, just retail folks like you and me that have a good head on their shoulders, that believe in reading financial statements, believe in reading filings, believe in data, not hopes and dreams, not things that you can't prove. And
non-stop digging, Tony. I'd say that. Non-stop
and it is a team that's not afraid to share different ideas. It's a team, and I use the word team just because I feel like, these people, we're all pulling for the same thing, for everyone to make money. But everyone's bringing different DD to the table. We can have discussions about stuff, things that you might not want to hear. But everyone can, at the end of the day, here's what I found, here's what I think. We're still friends at the end of the day. We don't boot people, we don't ban people, we don't shun people. That is a true team. Just like I run it here on this channel. As long as you're an adult, you're welcome to comment. You're welcome to hang out. You're welcome to learn. You're welcome to prosper over the long term.
Great place to learn.
But there is no team like somebody's paying us. If that's, I'm sure Othello is like, the conspiracy people, they hear one word, trigger word. He said team. You said team. You said team. Jesus Christ, man. Never mind. You said death. Who's that? What's that? That British actor? Cake or death? Death, please. No, I meant cake. You said death. David, ¿cómo estás? Buenas noches. Am I saying no to trillions of fake shares? KHTULHO says, I don't even know how to say that name. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think there are trillions of fake shares? Eddie Izzard, Crismo, thank you. That's the one. Soul Seeker says, I never trusted Trey or Matt. It's not that I didn't trust Trey or Matt in 2021. I enjoyed watching Trey, and then I had to watch Matt. But they were young and inexperienced. They've both learned subsequent to that. But they just got, as many of us do. Look, I went through that same cycle in my 20s of thinking that you're unstoppable and things only go up and nothing else matters. But the economy matters. You got to know when charts are topping out. Financial statements matter. And they had some bad calls, and then they moved on. And to a certain extent, I certainly don't blame them. Look at the frickin' drama this community has now. Instead of talking about DD, people talking about each other. It's really disappointing to me. And to be honest, I can't wait for this play to be over. It's only a sense of obligation that I have, that I care about you guys, that I didn't walk away a long time ago. It's just ridiculous. The people that are left in this play, all they do is talk about each other instead of having an adult conversation about differences in opinion, about analysis of a play. I just literally can't stand that. I'm a grown-ass man. I don't have time to engage in that nonsense. Now, I will call out a clickbait if they get something really, really wrong, but it's not anything against the person. It's just, bro, you got your facts all upside down and backwards.
Shout out to my P.
Great place. Super Steven been great help too, man. He's very smart.
Super Steven has he brings, he works in the gambling, sports betting industry. And even though that is not directly related to Wall Street, just that whole mindset of thinking like a gambler, he brings a lot to the table to help us analyze how retail traders think. Retail traders, a lot of them, especially the ones that are playing bankruptcy plays, meme stocks, and a lot of companies that have negative earnings, they are very, very speculative gamblers, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am too. What I don't do, though, is gamble my entire portfolio on them. I learned a long time ago, you take a very small percentage of your portfolio. So if you lose, why am I so calm? Because I could make the money back in a week or two of trading, of concentrated effort. I want to.
Hey, Tony.
Is that Steven?
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys for the kind words. I just came back. I'm here now.
You bring a lot to the table in helping us understand the speculative mindset of retail traders as it applies to your sports betting book. And I want to encourage folks that enjoy that gambling just as much as I do to stick around on this channel, because we're going to be talking about a lot of other plays that have that opportunity. I am never going to be encouraging you to bet the farm on that shit. That is just ridiculous. And
thank you, Tony.
There's not much I can do at this point for people that are stuck in the play other than help you understand what is happening and why, so that you can see your way through the next coming weeks or months as best you can. Whatever happens, happens, right?
Make it up on the other side.
Yeah, if you end up taking a loss on this play, there will be other opportunities. Don't lose hope. But you got to disengage from the people who have been giving you misinformation with no DD, no evidence, no financial statements, not reading one damn document for the last 2 years. Just, I think, it's my opinion, da-da-da-da-da. Those tout services, those pumpers are good, as I said, for eyeballs on what is coming. Listen to them early, take some gambles. Do not ever listen to them on when to get out, because they're horrible at that. Prometheus, can you send me a friend request on Discord, or just shoot me a DM? I'm going to shoot you. If you DM me, I'll shoot you over an invite to the voice chat, because Prometheus, I think Prometheus used to hate me. There's a few people in the Discord now that used to hate me. Grandpa, you used to hate me, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Sammy Boy's in here now. Sammy Boy. Boy, I would go on other channels and see Sammy Boy just trashing me in the chat for an hour.
I never trashed you, but I was just like, this guy's like N Grit. That's where he got his nickname. Then you learn. And then I learned why. It's because he didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. He told me the truth.
I appreciate that, Grandpa. I know I'm pretty sure I have Prometheus blocked on my on my YouTube for all the crap he was talking. I must not have him blocked, because I see him in the chat here, but I thought I had him blocked.
You probably wanted to block him.
I probably wanted to block him. Anyways, it's funny how if you have enough time goes by, people start realizing who was right all along and who was filling them full of bullshit. And I've really gotten to know Prometheus over the last, maybe month or so. And it is funny how his views of this play changed over the last 2 years, and how in alignment we are now. My views changed too, out of necessity. Not that I don't like the company, not that I don't like the play, not that I don't like movies, but the reality of where we're at in 2023 versus the hype and the height of 2021, I think it is absolutely critical that you guys evolve and understand where we're at in this play if you want to get out with your skin still on. Blazin says, Sammy is a savage. Yeah, I enjoy talking to Sammy too. I've really got to know him very well over the past month or two as well. And I talked to him. I said, Sammy, you used to hate me, didn't you? He's like, yeah, but I just didn't understand what you were talking about. I didn't get it back then. Enough time goes by, you will all get it. I just hope that some of you aren't blocked by them.
Tony, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you think the earnings call was pretty bullish today?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that everything about today was great. The positive earnings was great. Beating the analysts was great. Adam Aaron's, everything he talked about was great. The attitude in the room in that phone call sounded very positive. They sounded relaxed. I think that's the word you used earlier, mediocre. I think they see a light at the end of the tunnel, but they are concerned about the cash position, as we all are here. And I think that they see light at the end of the tunnel. Like I said, they know they will get out of it. Will that be great for retail? Look, if there's dilution coming, it might not be great for retail. So heads up, plan accordingly, as we all are in our discords. Pam
is real.
Pam says, Tony, you did block Prometheus and I asked you to unblock him. That is correct, Pam. I remember now. Thank you. And Prometheus, you're a great person, and I forgive easily, and I understand anybody who's mad at me. I'm definitely not. It's not often popular content. That is why we are the most hated YouTube channel covering AMC. Blocked by both bulls and trolls.
Boom.
Whoop, whoop.
You know how many AMC moon boys have me blocked on Twitter? You'd be surprised. As many trolls as I have blocked. So what do you think, Mediocre? I think it was very positive. I think there's a lot of shit to be happy about in Q2 and potentially even in Q3, but positive earnings, 8 million, 1 penny, when we're still losing 65 million bucks off the balance sheet. You got to pay effing attention to that and ignore anybody who's telling you don't worry about that. They will sell you up the river without a paddle.
Tony, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Maggie, thank you very much. Bless you.
I was just going to say, no, Tony, yeah, I agree with you that I think it was a bullish sentiment and the earnings were good. You know, and he's talking good about Q3, but we still need to wait and see what's going to happen in Q3. I don't know what's going to happen, but the writer's strike is my problem. Be honest.
I'm worried about the writer's strike. I'm not like hair on fire worried about it yet, but I started calling it out early. The actors' strike, really, when the actors came on board, that's when I started highlighting it to my audience. Like, we need to start paying attention to this. We can't just head in the sand saying, you know, this is not going to affect things.
Quickly.
If it is resolved quickly, then you know, it's less of a concern. If it drags out, the last writer's strike in 2000, I think it was, lasted 6 months. That would have a telling impact on the industry. And we've talked about projects being pushed out already. We've talked about actors not being able to walk the red carpet and promote the movie. I'm not as concerned about that part as projects being pushed out. We don't need anything pushed out. We need more. We need a fucking fire hose. We need a fire hose in the face of the movie theaters of good projects dropping in.
Tony, I wanted to say something real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was happy with Adam Aaron's transparency on the call. I felt like he said a lot more than he had to say. He walked back some of his statements of buying more theaters and instead gave, I felt, a more realistic approach to what he would do with the cash. Information he did not have to divulge on that earnings call. And he was more, I felt, upfront with the investor in this call rather than in the past.
I feel like Adam's done a little bit of transition over the last couple of years too. As the company is starting to wind down its cash, he went from being the rah-rah cheerleader to telling people what I've been saying for the last 6 months. He's being very transparent now, almost as if I gave him a script, right? He's saying in his tweets what I've been saying here for many, many months. Have you found that to be true?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's telling you straight up, I want to take the cash, repair the theaters. He walked back the comment of purchasing additional theaters unless it was extremely cheap. That's what he said. He's like, unless it's really cheap, I won't buy it. You know, closing down the non-performers, ramping up the production of the food and merchandise. And those are all good things for AMC. We just have to get past the roadblock ahead.
And do you think that he's being more transparent with retail investors now because he wants to kill a short squeeze? I know you already know the answer to that question, but I want to hear you verbalize to the audience your own thoughts.
Adam Aaron doesn't wake up every day and think like, how do I drive a short squeeze for retail?
Does he wake up every day thinking, how do I kill a short squeeze?
No.
So what is he thinking?
I'm sure in the back of his head, you know, like as a funny chuckle, it would be funny for him to squeeze the shorts. Like, I'm sure that's a hilarious, like, bar talk, you know, with the guys or something. But in reality, no, he's just trying to improve the company. He does have those moments, Tony, you know, where he gets cocky on Twitter and he's like, ha, 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 and he says those kinds of things, and that's very entertaining. But I don't believe that's connected to a short squeeze. That's more of him just saying, look, you're wrong. You know, you said I was going to go bankrupt 2-3 years ago and it didn't work out. And look, we're still standing. I think it's more of a we're still standing and not facilitating a squeeze, if that makes sense.
I've always kind of looked at it like a CEO's job, and all CEOs is a marketer to investors. And for many CEOs, their investor audience is institutions. So they speak very institutionally, but for Adam Aaron, most of his investors are retail. So he speaks in a little more retail vernacular, and he's always, you know, trying to keep retail hyped and engaged. But you guys need to be smart enough to see through that, as it's a marketing effort to keep you engaged and not decode everything so literally, and certainly don't decode them. I've literally seen people make videos creating their own interpretation of a tweet. Like, that is the most ridiculous shit that I've ever seen on YouTube.
Tony, I have a question for Charlotte in the chat. She says AA will do anything to stop a squeeze. And I guess my question would be, why do you think he would want to stop a short squeeze? I don't understand why people think that he would want to stop that.
Yeah, Charlotte, the floor is yours. Why does Adam Aaron want to stop a short squeeze?
Especially when he's got a ton of shares.
When he wants to dilute, the best thing for him is to have the price run up, right?
Yep.
Refer to the CEO handbook. Someone asked, why did the short interest drop today? It did not drop today. And I know some people were posting screenshots from Fintel. I've cross-referenced everything to Ortex, and there was no drop in short interest. Or you can see borrowed change actually went up today in the top left in that box. Maggie says, why can't Adam Aaron just sell more 8 for 66 cents if he needs more money? I think, Maggie, that as a desperation move, if they have to, they might consider that. But what I want you guys to remember, and I know there's people pushing this, Adam Aaron should just sell more APE. Look, all of these shares go to the income statement and affect earnings per share, and all of these shares have a vote. So my question to you that are pushing APE to be sold for 66 cents, do you want another institution to buy 1 billion APE and get control of the company for 66 cents? Do you want that? Do you want an institution?
No.
Do you want an institution controlling the next vote? Because you were pretty damn upset about the March one. That is what is going to happen if you keep on pushing this APE for 66 cents. And Maggie, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at the dummies who keep on saying, just sell more APE for 66 cents. It is a horrible dilution to AMC shareholders and their voting capacity in the company. You're giving away the company to institutions for 1/5 the price of AMC. It's a horrible way to dilute. Make them pay for it. Make them pay for it after a reverse split. And that is, I don't understand why that is so hard for people to understand, that APE dilutes your AMC, it dilutes your vote. Remember, if you don't believe what I'm saying, remember how upset everybody is and why we have a lawsuit over the March vote. Because your vote was robbed, they say, by institutions. That will happen again. And there are people advocating for it. People that are mad about the March lawsuit turn around and make a video saying, why doesn't he sell more APE? What kind of sense does that make? Do these people even listen to themselves? Steven, am I off base here?
No, guys. APE is your voting power. You know, he matched your voting power 1-to-1 when APE was issued. You know, regardless of what you think of APE, it's your voting power. So you don't want him to issue additional ape because it affects you as an AMC shareholder.
Maggie says, let them offer it to shareholders. How did that work out last time, Maggie? Would be my question. It plummeted from $6 to 66 cents. Nobody bought it. In fact, people said sell it because it's a dilution instrument. It's not going to work, Maggie.
Tony, I bought it.
Oh, I know you bought it. I know a lot of us bought it. But I'm saying in general, all these people that think retail is going to step up and buy ape, look what happened. Your best evidence of what is going to happen is what just happened. People are going to say, don't buy it all over again. They're going to hate on Adam Aron for diluting once they realize what is happening. And then he's going to be forced to sell it for institutions on the cheap, and we all get screwed. It's a temporary solution to a liquidity issue, and it might be one that's forced on us, but I certainly don't want to see that happen. And for everybody who's complaining about Antara buying it at below 70 cents, you all have the same opportunity twice now. Once for a day or two.
I got it all the way down to 80 cents, Tony.
Huh?
I got it as low as 80 cents.
I know a lot of you got it below 70 cents. Many people in my Discord. And you're all up 200%. Now, all of the people who said ape sucks, you know, they missed out on the opportunity to be right now up 200% in this play. And I don't have much sympathy for anybody who's listening to all the channels saying, sell ape, don't buy ape, ape sucks. Everyone that's in our Discord that took that opportunity to pick it up cheap is doing quite well at $1.80 right now. Imagine, you know, you're complaining because you're down 40, 50, 60, 80%, and you skipped purposely the opportunity to buy ape and be up right now 200%. I don't know what else I can do other than sit here and flap my lips, run my gums, trying to explain this stuff to you guys.
But they'll buy HYMC, Tony.
Or they'll buy AMC. I saw people making videos today saying, I'll just buy more AMC. Why would you buy AMC? It's about to be diluted. It's about to be converted with ape, and the price is going to be run down when that happens. Like, why would you do that?
Right, but they'll overlook ape and buy HYMC as well.
Oh yeah, HYMC, a whole nother story.
Yeah, if you bought AMC today, you're either negative already or you're right at the line of being negative.
But all that being said, none of us can guarantee that the conversion is going to happen. We just all view it as the most likely outcome. Therefore, our trading bias is towards that. Companies have a strange way of getting what they want. And I'm pretty sure that the settlement will go through. If I'm wrong, you know, I will deserve all of the hate and laughing videos and told you so's, rightly so. But I don't think I will be wrong in the long run on this.
It's not only that, Tony. If we don't convert, it hurts every single shareholder, whether you're an ape shareholder or an AMC shareholder.
If ape is ruled illegal, then the company is screwed by not having access to cash, and that's also a no-win situation. Right? What is the winning scenario of not being able to raise capital? Tell me. Sorry, Grandpa. Tell me how you win when you're watching the balance sheet be run off 60 to 200 million a quarter, and we've got 435 million left. Tell me how we win. Tell me how we win.
You don't.
You don't.
Someone's roboting.
Oh, we need to lower that float. We need the reverse split.
Lowered floats certainly help. Like we have 500 million plus $1 billion ape. I know when I wake up every morning and I'm looking for plays, I'm not looking for the ones with the high floats. I'm looking for stocks to trade that have low floats. Why? because the price, when there is buying pressure, moves much faster to the upside when you have a lower float. So at least in the short term, before he dilutes, that lower float presents some opportunities, especially if he has some good news to drop after a reverse split. Now, I don't know if he does, but often they do. They try and pump right around a reverse split to juice the price so that they can dilute. Again, CEO handbook video 3 months ago. Go watch it.
I just like to put out there that, you need money. Retail doesn't have the money that they used to have. So retail to be a push, and especially try to push 1.5 billion shares and get a price movement out of it. Good luck.
It takes a lot of money, and people don't realize that, to move 1.5 billion shares. Exactly.
So people that aren't sure about the reverse stock split because they think they're losing 90% of their shares, but your value is also going up to make up for it. So it's the same. I'm not sure. I know they like seeing the big number in there, but I like seeing the big number of money that's in my account. I don't give a crap about the share count.
Right.
Doug says it'll be a lower float for 5 minutes before dilution. That is a concern, Doug, that everybody needs to be aware of. I'm not worried about the reverse split. I've said this now 100 times to you guys so that you hear this very clearly. I am concerned, and I think you should be, about dilution in any stock. And
it's still going to be better than 1.5 billion.
And it's still better than bankruptcy.
Yeah.
But it's not my place to tell you to stay in the play and take dilution, right? You need to be thinking all the scenarios out and have your plan set, as most of us do in this Discord group, multiple Discord groups I'm in. And whatever happens, have a plan for it.
I think what's really good is you're allowed to have differences of opinion in here, and you won't, as long as you're respectful, you're not going to get the boot.
We have people of all walks of life in this play, right, Grandpa? In our Discord, we have people that only hold AMC. We have people that only hold APE. We have people that hold both. We have people that looked at all of our DD and decided to make their own decision. That's how I want it. That's how I want it. We present you our thoughts. You guys make up your own damn mind, because it's not our job to tell you how to trade.
But it's good to have, if you're only one-sided, if you only use one half of the information that's out there, then you're not making your best decision for yourself. That's my thoughts.
Whatever side you're on, if you're only listening to things that confirm your bias, you are likely to make bad decisions. If you're not willing to entertain different ideas, if you're shunning people that differ with you, if you're smearing them, if you're calling them paid off, if you're banning them, booting them, look, I don't care what your opinions are as long as you're respectful and adult about it. I don't, never have. And everybody in my Discord can attest to that. We have a lot of we have a lot of contentious discussions, and I've had people leave the Discord because I'm not bullish enough on their stock. I present both sides so that you can make your own decisions. But the fact that I even bring up something that they don't like, they'll leave the Discord. I don't care. I don't want one-sided, one-minded people. I want traders, investors who are willing to learn and look at everything and then make up their own mind. If you can't even look at it, then you will lose. Maybe not in this play, maybe not in the next one, but over the course of your investing career, if you can't look at everything, you're going to lose.
Hey, DM, Grandpa's in Washington State.
Grandpa is in Washington State. I saw someone said that he thought he might have met you, Grandpa.
Yeah. You said avatar. I thought I had a picture of me. I don't have an avatar.
You have a picture of you, but do you have a picture in the
That's
YouTube
me
chat? They can't see the Discord screen.
Yeah, I don't have any avatars. I only have pictures. It's me and Grandma. No avatar. I figure you want to
Wannabe comedian says, "Do you believe we can have an algorithm squeeze like Ants Trades is predicting?" Let me poll the panel here. Mediocre.
Oh fuck! Really?
Steven?
You had to read that fucking comment, Tony.
Steven?
He had to call on you for this one.
Huh? Steven, do you think we can have an algorithm pump like Ants Trades is saying?
Has he ever been right?
No.
About anything?
Steven, what's the countdown? You were tracking the days since he predicted a squeeze. What are we at now?
Well, last time I checked, it was about 180 days being wrong. He called the squeeze on January 27th of this year.
Okay, so he called the squeeze January 27th, February, March, April, May, June. We're 6 months past him making his first target. No, none of us believe any of the bullshit on that channel. But if he keeps saying it long enough, look, every fucking algorithm chartist that has been in this play over the last 3 years has come and gone. Why? Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and you can't chart with algorithms to predict a squeeze, a manipulated stock like this, much less one that is being run down from an all-time high in the last squeeze. At a certain point, when the fundamentals change, the stock will go up when the fundamentals change. Or if there is that unknown catalyst, that thing that none of us are expecting. The most likely upcoming catalyst, obviously, is Judge Zern, just like we saw a couple Fridays ago. I love the chartist guys that were doing their predictions every day. See, I was right. You ain't right about shit. The judge dropped a decision, and that made the prices move. And the next time she drops a decision, the prices are going to move again. It has nothing to do with algorithms or any of the bullshit these chartist people are pumping on you guys. They're doing that for clicks and views and engagement and what's the word? I want to say grandiosement, but that's probably not the right word.
It's confirmation bias, Tony.
Well, I mean, they're doing it to make themselves feel important. Eventually something will happen and the chart will go up, but it's not because they charted it or predicted it or overlaid an algo from 3 years ago. It was because some news happened. But I just let them do their thing. I don't bother them. I mean, they're not harming anything. We need people to be bullish in this play. But if you ask my opinion, I'm going to tell you my opinion. Nick says, Tony, I didn't hear any numbers on the credit card or Walmart popcorn sales. Yes, that is. Here's what he said, okay? And first let me preface it by what I said. I've been telling you guys since they announced the credit cards, you will not see any demonstrable revenue from credit cards. I do not believe they're doing credit cards for income. I believe they're doing it for customer data mining and customer engagement. The more they can keep you involved with those credit cards and give you bonuses and stuff, that keeps you coming back to AMC. Do not be spending money on credit cards thinking it's going to help AMC. I implore you. Just like the unpopular opinion I had, don't waste your money on Hycroft coins thinking it's going to provide revenue to Hycroft. It's not, and it didn't. Credit cards is not going to provide revenue, at least in any meaningful fashion, to AMC. So if you want to support them, you want to use them, you want to get the bonus points, hats off to you. But you're not helping the company generate income. That's why they did not mention it. And they probably never will mention it. If it does, it will be trivial. What we heard Adam say as far as popcorn today is that when they expand nationwide and other stores, what did he say? We expect 100 million in revenue. He didn't even distinguish between gross or net. So I don't know what he meant. But there were people legit telling you guys on Twitter and YouTube that we were going to have 100 million in profit from popcorn this quarter. What fucking clueless people do we have out there
You said
pumping that
100
shit on
million
me?
in profit from popcorn alone?
Yes.
Tony, that's like 5 silos that are probably about 90 feet tall.
I know, but this is how ridiculous people are with the clickbait and the hopium and inability to do any sort of financial analysis. This is just unabated hopium. And I've been telling you guys, don't count on popcorn for... so I purposely did not include it in my model because we have no idea what it was going to be. And I thought it would be pretty small. But even if it was $1 million, it's better than zero. I'm not shitting on the popcorn. But we're a long way away from 100 million. And even Adam said, when we're nationwide in all these stores, that is 100 million annually. That's your number, guys. Forget about popcorn saving the day. It's good. It's a bonus. I'll still buy it. It tastes great. I love it. I've got some in my pantry. I will continue to buy it over everything else as long as I'm supporting AMC. But it is not going to save this company.
I made enough money in 2021 on AMC to buy my first house, and after the last squeeze I did not trust AA since I hope he does the right thing to make AMC shareholders make money.
Brian, thank you for your comment. He says, I don't trust Adam Aaron, and I hope he does the right thing to make shareholders money. Here's what I say, Brian, and panel, feel free to jump in. Adam Aaron is going to do the right thing for the company. He has a fiduciary duty not to let the company go bankrupt. That is what they have communicated to us. They plan to do a conversion and a cash raise to fix the balance sheet.
Tony.
Yes.
By doing so, he's protecting shareholders.
Right. That was his fiduciary duty to prevent the company from going bankrupt, is to protect all shareholders, both retail and institutional, from bankruptcy. But in the meantime, that dilution may not be what you want, what you wish for a short squeeze. I get that. What do you want to expand on that, Mediocre?
I just, bankruptcy is not the answer. No shareholder wins in bankruptcy. That's all I want people to understand.
Our credit gets ruined, we're ruined.
Robert M says, what about the George W? I miss those days, Robert. I miss the lamp on, lamp off George W. Trey Energy, Trey Vibe. That guy was, what fucking entertainment that was back then. And I wish we were still in 2021, but we are not. So now you're stuck with me.
So, Tony, I'd also add, though, that I don't want people to think that I'm bearish on the stock. I'm not. Like, I thought that the information today from the earnings call was bullish. It looks good for Q3, right? And if we can continue to progress and keep making profits, we're going to be okay. We do need cash in the bank. We don't have that for protection right now. But other than that, we're in good shape. I don't disagree with the people who don't think that we're not in good shape. We are, but we don't have the working capital in the fucking bank to keep going.
And I want to keep on harping on that point. Working capital. Any of you who own a business know what I'm talking about. Any of you who have never run a business, I get it. Why you don't want to look at the balance sheet. Why, as YouTubers, you don't want to explain this to people because you don't understand it. Working capital is something that institutions look at, analysts look at, and people that are predicting bankruptcy absolutely look at. Again, go to the balance sheet, look at current liabilities and current assets. Working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. It's your ability to pay your next 12 months bills. We are negative $800 million. That is not going to end well if it's not fixed. Stephen, how's that going to end? Where's Sufyan, our CPA? How do negative working capital situations end if they're not addressed?
If they're not addressed, the lender puts pressure on the person they lent the money to,
and ultimately they will force them to file bankruptcy. They'll call,
and then you have more lawsuits.
Yeah, they'll call the loans due. They'll call the debts out of compliance.
You don't have to go. The company doesn't have to go to zero to go bankrupt.
That too. The company does not have to go to zero to go bankrupt.
The reason why 2021 was so different is because we had $2 billion in the bank. We don't have that anymore. It's gone.
Jerry Evans says
keep the
Adam.
lights on.
Jerry Evans says Adam Aaron burned $1 billion on projectors. Jerry, do you believe that?
$1 billion?
Jerry, are you fucking serious, Jerry? Are you literally, Jerry? Are you serious with that, or are you just here vomiting up bullshit?
Put up the DD where
Are you creating your own facts, Jerry? $1 billion on projectors. What a fucking joke, man. Come on, Jerry, try harder. Get your facts straight, Jerry, if you're going to be on this channel.
You would need 10 times the amount of theaters that we have to spend that kind of money.
Roseanne says, what do the shorts think about the earnings call? The shorts are licking their lips at the fact that this company has no access to cash, Roseanne. They're licking their lips at the fact we burned another $65 million. Short, look at the borrowed change today. It went up. Right here. Are they scared of anything? Absolutely not. Jerry getting his DD from the trailer park, Matt says, sounds like it. I mean, guys, there are a lot of people putting out bullshit numbers. That's one of the most bullshit I've heard. Yeah, $1 billion on projectors. Come on, Jer. Imperm Nant says, Tony, still learning how to read the financials. By the way, go check out my 3 videos, how to read balance sheet, how to read an income statement, how to read a cash flow, and learn what I look at so that you can, without being a CPA, figure out if it's a good play or not in about 30 seconds. Go check those videos out if you're still learning. You don't need to be a finance expert. If you understand the very basics, you can get a black and white picture. It doesn't need to be colored in between all the lines. You can get the framework in 30 seconds. He says, I've been thinking and comparing AMC's most profitable net profit since he became CEO in 2015. A lot of things happened. And Brian, I'm going to get to your question. Thank you for the super chat. A lot of things changed since 2015. I'm going to come back to the 2015 thing. Let's see what Brian said. The new law that is in effect now, that's the Delaware change that went in effect in August 1st. Does it not help us, the retail shareholders, I think is what he meant to say. Oh, the institutional shareholders will have more say than the average shareholder. Yeah, whoever shows up to vote with the new Delaware law will have more say. And retail does not show up to vote. So, Brian, I do not view that law favorable for retail. And you saw that in Mullen, right? The Mullen retail traders, even though I've been telling them for a month, you are not going to win that vote, because I already saw the disclosures on institutional holders. They had the vote and they were going to show up, and retail was not. That's why with the new law, all the Mullen proposals passed. And every trade that you're in, you're going to be outvoted by whoever shows up. Now, going back to Adam Aaron, 2015 to 2019, he bought up a lot of competitors trying to make this company the big player on the block. He took on a lot of debt, and he created a company that requires $11 billion box office to be profitable. We're not going to be profitable for the year on $9 billion. We're not going to be profitable for the year on $9.5 billion. We need Hollywood to put out enough movies that have hits and people to go see them to have around 11.5 billion. And until then, you are in a play that will lose money more quarters than not. That is the company you invested in. I know fundamentals did not matter in 2021. I get it, but we're in 2023 now. Let's be real. Let's be real, guys. Let's not ignore reality. And someone asked, why did Cinemark, why did they post a profit? They're half our size. They don't need 11 billion box office. They got half the theaters, much less fixed cost to cover. Did Adam Aaron make a bad decision trying to be the biggest player on the block? Is that ultimately going to be the company's undoing? I don't know. But that is the company you invested in. Don't blame him. You invested in it after he bought all those theaters in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. You bought it. No one forced you. Don't blame the CEO for decisions he made years before you came along for where we're at right now. That is childish, immature thinking.
And look again, we're back to the reverse split. Look at the float difference between us and them.
Yeah, and their float is 120 million. Ours is 1.5 billion. But the float does not dictate profits, Grandpa, right? Your fixed cost versus the revenue determines your profits. They're way more nimble than us.
Overhead.
They have half the overhead. We need, as the biggest player, the company we own, the company we all decided on our own volition, nobody forced us to hit the buy button. The company we bought is the big player. And when you are the big player and things slow down, you're the first to feel the pain. A lot of other companies were making plays to buy up competitors, and most of them went bankrupt already. Cinemark squeaked through, but they're half the size of AMC. Cineworld went bankrupt, and retail and institutions, anyone who was a shareholder got wiped out. Lenders own the company. It's private now. They amongst themselves negotiated all the debt down, gave themselves a whole bunch of new equity in the company. And at some point, you'll probably see a new Cineworld Regal IPO when they fix it and they got it nice and profitable and juicy. And they think they can entice retail into coming back in and buying it. You'll probably see some future IPO for Cineworld.
Tony, you also have the PFL screens. Remember Adam was talking about that on the earnings call? Cinemark doesn't have nearly as many premium screens as AMC has. We have so many more screens than them, so it is inevitably more expensive to have more premium screens. Now, there's an upside to that, which is we make more money, right? When things are good, we make more money because we have more screens. The downside is our operating costs are higher.
Yep. And, you know, theoretically, being the bigger player, you have more pull with the studios and with vendors and things like that. I'm just thinking, like, why would you want to be the big player? It gives you more pull on a lot of issues. Brian says, did I see how much Mullen is going to buy back? I did. I'll do a Mullen video tomorrow. Tomorrow. It got too busy today, but I was keeping up with all the press releases. I really am waiting for the 8K to drop. I want to see them commit to the 1-for-9. I've been saying very confidently for a month, Mullen will reverse split 1-for-100. Clearly, I was wrong. David Mishery saw my DD and he said, fuck Tony Denaro. I'm going to embarrass that dude. So props to David Mishery for not obliterating shareholders. However, with a 1-for-9, when they reverse split, they're going to be right on the threshold of $1 again. At 11 cents, 12 cents, you multiply that times 9, they're right under $1, right at $1. And I don't know what he's thinking, honestly. I would not have done 1-for-9. It's better for retail, no doubt. And then he promised in the near future he's going to buy back 25 million. Look, both of those things are way more bullish than I gave him credit for. Let's see if he follows through with the $25 million buyback. But if you collapse the float and then buy back $25 million worth, hey, if you can follow that up with some production numbers, you could see an interesting little play in Mullen. So I love the play. I'm rooting for everybody that's in it. 1-for-9 following a 1-for-25 is not obviously ideal. I'm not in the play, but I might buy some after the next reverse split. You don't want to be in front of these things. You want to jump in after all of the bad stuff has happened before the run up. Are we always able to time that perfectly? No, we're not. But I don't need to buy. I'm not compelled to jump in and buy a no revenue company just on a hope and a dream. When I see some tangible results and I see the momentum going, it's okay if I miss the first 20% of that momentum, or even the first 50%. If I think that the momentum can continue, I'll ride that momentum for hours, days, weeks, whatever. I just don't want to be on the downside momentum. Mediocre, what do you think? Mullen, 1 for 9 coming up, 25 million buyback.
Never heard of it. Come on, man.
Who? A mullet? I had a mullet when I was in the 80s.
Volkstoy King says, couldn't Adam Aaron do a dividend with profitability? There are debt covenant restrictions that I don't know that I could recite to you by memory that prevent the company from currently doing a dividend. And we are in violation of our debt covenants. So for the moment, we cannot do a dividend, even though we were profitable. And someone told me Thomas James said dividend coming. No.
I mean,
no, not
Tony, if you want a dividend, there's a lot of stocks out there that'll give you a dividend.
Yeah, if you want, I know where he's coming from. They think that a dividend is going to cause a short squeeze, guys.
Oh, that's a jump,
guys. The fundamentals.
I don't know much about Mullen News, Tony.
The fundamentals are why it's being shorted. They're not going to care about a 5-cent dividend on a company that is losing money and has no access to cash.
Wait, is he saying that a short would cover because a dividend would be issued?
Yeah, I mean, that is a theory out there. I mean, shorts don't like to have to pay out dividends, and they would have to pay it out. But that is not going to override the fact that the company has no access to capital and it's mired in a lawsuit preventing an equity raise. That is the overriding short thesis right now, that this company is going bankrupt. They're not going to care about a dividend, and the company honestly has not enough cash to pay a meaningful dividend. And
Are we talking about AMC?
Yes. They have no,
well, first of all,
they have debt covenant restrictions preventing it till early next year at the soonest.
Yes. So that's the number one thing. And I asked Adam Aaron directly, face to face, that very question. So
what did he say?
He said, we ain't getting a damn dividend.
Well, there you go.
Well, another thing, Tony, just because you issue a dividend doesn't mean I'm covering a short. Like, if you already don't mind paying a borrow fee, what makes you, if you're really confident in your short position, you will pay the dividend.
Yeah.
Because if the company's toast, it's toast anyway.
I totally get it. I know where everyone's coming from with your questions. Like, this is a often repeated in every play I follow, and I follow all the retail plays. If only the CEO would pay a dividend, we could kill the shorts. I get it, but not when there's so many other negatives weighing against the company. It's not going to be meaningful. The shorts will pay. They'll pay the dividend. Right. They'll pay it out of pocket.
I pressed Adam Aaron on that because I wanted to have information for the community to say, you know, maybe he is looking out for the shareholder and he wants to, you know, give back to the shareholder. But in reality, what he said, not that he said, hell no, that's not really what he said. But what he said, though, in all reality was there was debt covenants in place and they weren't going to pay down the debt because they had other plans with the money.
Volksoy says he was not asking to cause a squeeze. Okay, fair play. Thank you for adding that. He just wants peace of mind that Adam Aaron backs himself up to shareholders. I get it. But ultimately, then the answer to your question is they have debt covenant restrictions in place right now from the bondholders that prevent them from doing a dividend at the moment.
That is correct. And that, you know, they weren't going to use the money to pay to restructure that. I asked him that.
And I think for most companies, like if you're a cash-strapped company, even though that's a great handout to shareholders, typically what we look at for dividend companies is companies that have massive profits and massive cash sitting on the balance sheet that they don't know what to do with. Look, if you have cash on the balance sheet, you either invest it to grow the business or you buy back shares. And if you don't want to do either one of those things, you distribute part of the profits in way of a dividend to shareholders. But we're not in a profitable company, so it's not realistic under normal ways that we analyze dividend paying companies to expect a cash strapped, money losing company. It would not be normal for them to pay a dividend. Mediocre, do you want to talk about that for 2 seconds while I grab a beer?
Yeah, I mean, he basically said he needs, a strong cash position is good for the company, and they wanted to, make some repairs in the theaters and do other things. He didn't give me specifics. You got to remember, this was what, 3.5 months ago, 4 months ago, that I had this conversation with him. So,
and he wants to do the concessions. He wants to make the concessions better as well, so we could have better stuff to eat.
I'm going to hit him up with a Twitter in the morning asking him for some damn keto-friendly items on the menu, especially at the dine-in theaters. If he had a sirloin steak, or even better, our favorite in the Discord, a ribeye. I know people were laughing at me in the live stream earlier today when I said that, but it is really tough as a keto eater to go to a movie and find anything other than a $12 bag of 3 ounces of beef jerky, which I just, no. I've bought 2 hot dogs and thrown the buns away. I've ordered the chicken Cobb salad, which is okay. I mean, but Adam, if you're watching, sure would be nice to have a sirloin.
Well, I mean, this is kind of his point in
sirloin
addressing
steak.
the kitchen, so he can accommodate stuff like that with what they got now. He can't.
I'm paying damn near $30 for a salad and a bottle of water. You don't think I'd pay $30 for a sirloin, Adam?
Hell yeah. He's going to put a stove in the back just for you.
Mediocre. Were you saying that?
Good night, Maggie. Thank you.
Were you
Maggie,
saying that?
Hang on. Maggie, you are always welcome here. I hope you know that.
Yes, Maggie. Have a good night. What's up, Steven?
John, and John, don't hate me for having a beer. I'm celebrating tonight. I'm mostly not drinking since June 1st, but positive earnings, that's worth a beer or 2, don't you think? Sorry, guys, to interrupt you.
It's okay. I was saying, Mediocre, you were saying they weren't going to issue a dividend, AMC?
No.
What do you mean? They issued one last year. It was Ape.
Womp, womp, womp.
Special dividend.
Yeah, that didn't come out of AMC's money. We paid for that dividend.
But it was a dividend, right? Or...
Sufyan, can you join the voice chat and talk to us about working capital?
I thought he just chopped our value in half.
Dr. Zeno, what's up? Doc Zeno in the house. He says he's drinking. What are you drinking tonight, Doc Zeno?
What it's labeled at, Stephen, is what it's labeled at, a preferred equity unit. I don't know. It is technically a dividend, but it didn't cost the company anything.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to the GameStop stock split / dividend. What these companies call it is their backroom accounting. They're all stock splits when it affects us, though. I mean, the net effect to us is a stock split. And I said that about the GameStop thing, and I I never liked that he called Ape a free dividend either. It was a fucking stock split.
Right, because he would have to break the debt covenants to do that, and that shit would have pissed off the investors, you know?
The word dividend is very interchangeable. If you call your broker, they'll refer to it as a special dividend too.
I talked to brokers in GameStop. I talked to accounting professors, and I said, why did these guys call it a dividend if it's a stock split? And all of them said, we don't know why. We wish they would stop doing that. It's very confusing to traders. It's coded in our system as a stock split.
Right.
I don't have a good answer. I searched and searched and searched, and most of the best I could get was, well, it's some back-end accounting and they're doing it for tax reasons, but it's not a dividend in the way that we think it as a short crushing, they're going to have to scramble to find shares. Nope, sorry. GameStop, that was not a dividend. AMC, that was not a dividend.
I'm just messing with you, mediocre.
I know you are. It's all good.
Philip says,
trying to make me be the bad guy here.
Philip says working capital is current assets, current minus current liabilities. Yeah, I was going over it earlier, Philip. I was going over the balance sheet, AMC having negative 800 million working capital, imploring the clickbait YouTubers to start explaining that to their audience, to stop lying to people that there's no risk of bankruptcy, challenging any finance person to come on this channel and explain to me how being negative 800 million working capital is not a risk for bankruptcy. Find me one CPA, find me one finance, find me one MBA that can come on here and tell me that negative 800 million on a balance sheet is not a risk of bankruptcy. The challenge has been out there for many months. The challenge goes out to all the clickbaiters, all the haters, all the trolls on Twitter. Explain that to your audience. Give us your best DD why the balance sheet does not tell you, the negative 800 million working capital does not tell you that there's no bankruptcy risk. Explain it to me in your own words. Now, Philip, you are a CPA, if I'm not mistaken, right? Philip, you changed your name in Discord to Philip CPA, but you did not change it in YouTube. So you need to go change it in YouTube also. At any rate, you know, I'm not going to stop talking about this fucking working capital because no one else is talking about it. And they're lying on you. They lying on you, boys and girls. There's no bankruptcy risk. I don't care what Adam Aaron says. Okay, Mr. GD, Mr. Explain working capital to your folks. You're such an expert.
Tell me what happens if you don't have enough working capital to pay the help.
They quit or you go bankrupt or both.
The door's closed.
Yeah. Anyone who owns a business, anyone who, or the other thing, mediocre, is you got to go get a loan to fund your working capital shortage, right?
Yeah.
Now you're deeper in debt.
Right. Are any of y'all excited about AMC adding $1 billion to the debt, or are we looking to get the debt paid off? Don't fucking tell me these dipshits on Twitter. Well, Adam Aaron just needs to go get more debt. You're arguing every day to pay off the debt, and now you're advocating to go get more debt to cover the working capital shortage. Come on, man. Again, these people don't listen to their own selves. All the clickbaiters, I want you to start asking them their thoughts about negative 800 million in working capital. How's the company going to pay its bills if it can't raise money? They'll tell you they don't care. I don't care if the company goes bankrupt. Okay, well then at least you know who you're working with. You're literally getting advice from people who are so short time frame focused that they don't care if the company goes bankrupt, and that's fine. I got no problem with that.
And some of these building rents, Tony, out here in the Bay Area are expensive.
I'm not going to agree to that. That is, I don't want to see you guys wiped out to zero. Say your comment again, Max.
Building rents out here in the Bay Area alone for AMC have to be huge.
The rent?
They have them everywhere over here.
The rent must be huge, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It ain't cheap to rent in Texas or in Austin anyways, or anywhere in California.
But Tony, if we get a squeeze before we run out of cash, then everything's going to be okay.
That is true. That is true. That is true. If we get a squeeze before we run out of cash, everybody will be happy. Just tell me what causes a squeeze. What is the catalyst? Threshold list ain't done shit. 30% short interest ain't done shit. 360% cost to borrow ain't done shit. The past 2 years ain't done shit. Algorithm tracking and putting up daily videos with charts ain't done shit. What is going to be the catalyst? Just tell me that and I'll be on board. One of y'all, tell me the catalyst. Just wait.
Elon Musk.
Just wait. Is the catalyst just wait?
Elon is the way.
Just wait. Just wait. 2 more weeks. And we're gonna have a catalyst. Okay. In 3 more months, we're gonna be down another 60 to 200 million bucks off the balance sheet. How long do I have to wait? I've been waiting 2 years.
Been waiting a long time, Tony.
All I'm seeing is the balance sheet being bled out because we don't have enough movies. We don't have enough people going to the movies. I'm tired of waiting. Aliens, Sleepy. Aliens will be the catalyst. I love it. Fractals, Doc Zeno. Pelosi's Balonies, what's up? Did we just piss them off so bad that they'll keep us from winning no matter what the cost? I honestly don't think Mr. Venerable, or is it Ms. Baloney? I don't think the shorts have emotions. I think they're looking at it very black and white, very cold-blooded like we do here. They're looking at the financials. They're looking at the balance sheet. They're like, this is an easy short. Steven, you actually short stocks. I don't short, guys. I don't short. I never have shorted a stock in my life. I'm practicing on paper trading. Steven shorts. Steven, if you were a short in AMC, and I know you're not, but if you were, would you be scared looking at the balance sheet and looking at all the fracas going on in the court and people throwing up objections and appeals? Would you think that this company is on the verge of fixing their liquidity problem, or would you feel pretty comfortable at the moment? I know things can change when Zern drops her opinion, but how would you feel in this moment right now?
It's hard to say. I mean, it looks like in the short term, it's a slam dunk for AMC to come down because of the arbitrage effect. If she approves the settlement, AMC common shares would come down. However, if she rejected the settlement, like you said, the risk there is also real, where then there'd be some buying pressure on AMC. But I don't view the rejection of the settlement as a likely outcome. So I think shorts are willing to take that chance. Like, they're willing to short AMC knowing, because Wall Street's operating, in my opinion, on the assumption that the settlement will be approved. That's why you're seeing short interest go up. You're seeing cost to borrow go up. They feel comfortable with that risk. And so that's the way I kind of look at it right now.
Mr. E. Quaternock says, why is Zern taking so long? So we talked about that a lot over the past few weeks. Why is Zern taking so long? She has until the end of September to render her opinion. And based just on my, reading Chance the Lawyer and I'm defaulting to her analysis here. Zern is worried about both the potential for appeal to the Supreme Court of Delaware and the fact that this is a precedent-setting case. And so she's going to take her time to make sure she has as rock solid of an opinion as possible. That is my current viewpoint on it. And while I'm hopeful that we'll get something by the end of August, and we're watching every day, guys. We're on Judge Zern watch every day when the market closes. No joke. It would not surprise me if it takes till September. I'm not thrilled about that. I hope it's sooner. I'm just so, it's almost for selfish reasons right now. I'm so over the drama and the smearing and the name calling and people not being able to have differences of opinion about analysis of a play without acting like grown-ups. I'm just so ready to move on past this stock because of the children that are involved in it that I pray every day that Zern drops an opinion so we can get some closure, and whatever happens, happens. I really even don't care what happens at this point. I just want to be decision and move on.
Tony, Doug in the chat believes that she'll reject the settlement, and I'm curious to his reasoning as to why does he believe that?
Yeah, Doug, why will she reject it, Doug? Besides a hunch. I mean, I've looked at the law. I've looked at the plaintiff's filings. I've looked at the defendant's filings. They all said that they likely would not win the case, and they have agreed on a settlement. What hunch?
By decisions on a hunch.
What hunch do you have that overrides what the plaintiff and the defendant said and the special master? Doug, fill us in, please. You can't say hunch. I need something that legally is more compelling than what the plaintiff and defendants and special masters said. Because I base my opinions, my thoughts that I share here on Discord and in the YouTube channel on what people way smarter than me have said and filings and legal documents, not on hunches. If you're investing based on hunches and ignoring filings, you will lose. Blazin says, pros for a short, burning cash. AMC's burning cash, billions in debt, not recovered, industry not recovered to pre-COVID box office numbers, divided community, writer and actor strike, and incoming dilutions. I could go on and on. Blazin, thank you for sharing that. I agree with all of those points. Maximus says you cannot decide life on a hunch. And if you're deciding your investments on a hunch, you will fucking be torched. Volkstoy says rejecting it due to being two separate stocks. Ape should have never been tradable. I mean, there's been banks of lawyers that have looked at this. The SEC's looked at it. The Delaware Secretary of State approved it. NYSE approved it. The plaintiff said we can't win on this. There's very little chance that this settlement's not going to go through. If shareholders approved it, even if Antara swung the vote, I mean, the evidence is overwhelming. Could we still be wrong? Absolutely.
Like,
but I
Tony,
I bucket everything into percentage chance of being right. I'm going to go with the preponderance of the evidence that I'm going to be right. Could I be wrong? Yes. What was that, Stephen?
Tony, I like Matt's comment. That sticks out to me. That's a sharp
what did
fella
Matt
right
say?
there. Zern would have already objected to it when she gave her first option. Instead, she said, fix this.
Yeah, I don't know that she said, fix it, Matt. Fix it and she will pass it. She said, fix it before I even consider anything more. That's me. That's me sharing Chance the lawyer's thoughts, right? Chance the lawyer kind of cautioned us to not be overly optimistic. And that's like the nagging thing in my heart. Like, I don't know if I'll be right. Chance the lawyer tells me, don't count on it. Don't be so sure, you cowboys. So there's always a chance Zern could find something, right? There's no guarantee that I am right. I'm telling you right now. Many of us have made our trading decisions based on anticipation that the settlement will be approved, but there is no guarantee that we will be correct. So don't make any trading decisions off of what I'm saying right now. Do your own DD, trade the way you want. We'll all still be friends at the end of the day, hopefully. But because I respect whatever decision you make, I respect your own DD. I even respect your hunches. But I don't trade off of hunches. I trade off of filings. Zern said, you got to address this release on Ape before we even go further, before I even waste any more time considering all the finer points of this lawsuit and this complaint. We got to talk about this Ape release. And they quickly amended the settlement and took that off the table. So now she is considering everything else. And we will find out if she has other concerns. She could have other concerns. She could reject the settlement. There are multiple outcomes if she rejects the settlement, right? Rejecting the settlement could just mean that the plaintiff drops the case and lets AMC go forward with the vote. There's so many multiple outcomes, and many of you are focused only on if she rejects the settlement, Ape is not going to happen, this conversion's not going to happen. Look, there's a world of possibilities. The only way the conversion doesn't happen if she says Ape was illegal. She could reject the settlement and Antara could drop the case, and then conversion happens, right? Have you thought about that?
Tony, there's a lot of possibilities if the settlement's rejected, but are there a lot of possibilities if it's approved? I don't think so.
There's only one outcome. There's only one outcome if it's approved. Yeah.
Right.
Volksoy says, explain why options were added then removed on Ape. Yeah. They clearly wanted to milk us for money, Volksoy. And you can't do options on a preferred. So they rightfully shot that down. That was look, these guys are fucking money hungry bastards. If they could figure out a way to milk us for money by selling us options, they will do it. And they also can, in a way, manipulate the price through options. So I'm glad they didn't approve it on Ape. VO Warrior in the house, not a dead cat. Where's my dead cat, meow? I haven't used a soundboard in so long. Anyways, I had a meow on here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I found it. I'm supposed to play that every time someone says dead cat. I got to get back to doing live streams, guys. Live streams during the day. If we could all just agree to get along and not have all these fucking trolls in the chat, I'd love to get back to daytime live streams. Meanwhile, we live stream it every day in Discord. I just hate that you guys on YouTube land are missing out on that. Anya says, it's hard to retire when you love your job. Who are we talking about, Anya? Are we talking about Adam Aaron or are we talking about Tony Denaro? I retired. I loved my job, but my company got too much up in their ass about cost cutting, and I didn't like the quality hits that we were taking. Kevin says, am I wrong, but didn't he say he was pointing out he was paying off debt, but holding cash to have power to negotiate lease debt? I don't recall. Do you guys remember him saying anything about paying off debt? He definitely talked about negotiating leases, and he talked about spending money on CapEx for deferred maintenance and stuff. We kind of postulated that maybe some of the ACs, the air conditioning systems that you're getting complaints about, were just crappy AC systems. Maybe there were some corrupt employees that didn't like the sound of freedom that were turning up the AC, or maybe it's just a bad AC because you're in a state with 103 degree temperatures. Mediocre, do you know anything about ACs? Do they tend to break down when it's hot?
Yes, sir.
How often? Is it more likely they're going to break down when it's hot, Mediocre, or they're going to break down in December?
They're going to break down in the middle of summer when it's nice and hot.
Always. And then what? You're down for 3 days waiting for tech.
Yep.
Son of a bitch. Anyways,
And they never break down in the winter, Tony.
they never do. Never do. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't recall if Adam said anything about paying off debt. I do think, and I've talked with markets for May. I talked with May. I need to freaking get May on here and let her share her thoughts with you. She is convinced. Her views are very opposite from me. I said, May, I think we need a bunch of cash on the balance sheet. She said, Tony, you're wrong. And then she did that little May laugh. I'm just kidding. We were talking on Twitter. But she said, I think they need to focus on the debt. I think they need to focus on that 2026 debt. So let's get May on here. Let's get May back and share her thoughts about what they're going to do if they are able to raise money. Let's try and make that happen this week. I'll reach out to her. Anya says, Tony, you aren't retiring anytime soon. No retiring from YouTube allowed, Tony. Too much knowledge to share. Guys, Anya is begging me every day. Like, I was out working on my car today. She's like, Tony, you should be live streaming this. Tony, you need to get another YouTube channel. Tony Denaro does car repairs. Tony, live stream doing your laundry. Tony, live stream, make a cooking channel. I can't even keep up with the channels I have, guys. I can barely keep up with this one. I'm between all of this shit that's going on in AMC, this is soaking up my entire damn day. I want to get back to day trading. I want to get back to doing the live streams with you guys, but keeping up with the nonsense that's out there, the clickbait, the unfactual information, the filings, the court stuff. Who knows how many hundreds of thousands I've lost just from not paying attention to other plays. Out of my feeling of duty, my sense of obligation to be here for you guys, the Lone Ranger, the last voice of reason left in this play. God save us. Anyways, would you guys watch if I had a laundry channel? Would you watch if I had a cooking channel? I am a true Renaissance man. Master of nothing. What's the phrase, mediocre? Not jack of all trades. It's something. God damn it. What's the fucking phrase? Master of none. I just know the ending.
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, I know a lot about many things, but I'm not a master of many of them. Doc Zeno says we need a chair channel. Doc Zeno, that'd be awesome. Just buy a bunch of chairs and do chair reviews. People fucking make a living doing that, Doc. There's literally YouTube channels set up to chair reviews. What the fuck? How do these people do this shit? Jack of all trades. Jack of all trades, master of none. Is that the phrase?
Yes.
It is an opportunity cost, John. 4-leaf clover. Fortunately, trading for me is a pastime. It's not my full-time job. YouTube is a pastime. It's not my full-time job. I make my money in my businesses. This is just for fun. If I make money doing YouTube, great. Would I like to grow the channel and do more YouTube down the road? Sure. But I don't need to do YouTube. If I did, I'd be like all these clickbaiters popping out these ridiculous bullshit 10 videos a day. I purposely am not doing videos so that no one can say, oh, he's a pumper, he's a YouTuber trying to make his money. I don't care. I don't care about YouTube. I'm here for you guys when there's something meaningful to say. But good Lord, man, this AMC due diligence, keeping up with it. I never thought I'd be learning to become an expert in the Delaware Chancery Court. And I think
you learn new shit every day, Tony.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, for all of us, whatever happens, there's so many good learnings here for us. And for myself too, so many good learnings that we will, for the remaining 2 years of my life, because I'm old as fuck, guys. I'm pushing 99. For the remaining 2 years of my life, this is going to be invaluable experience to carry into our next trades. What do you think, Mediocre?
Yeah, man, just think about it. We know most companies are incorporated in Delaware for a reason. I didn't know that shit up until recently. I think it's interesting. We learned a lot of stuff from this play.
Pam says she would watch a cooking channel. Pam, I see you posting a lot of cooking shit on Discord and Twitter. I love seeing it. I post a lot of my cooking photos. Probably, everybody hates it in my Discord, but it's segregated to a food specific room, so not everybody is subjected to it. But we love to share food recipes and ideas and photos, especially if it's keto.
I want to see what Holly had to say. Holly had to say something.
Holly or Hallie?
Hallie.
Whatever happened to Hallie in Canada? Is that the Hallie that we're talking about? I'm scrolling up.
I hear you.
I'm looking. If you have it, can you read it? Because
He's in the Discord, Tony. You don't hear him?
I don't hear him. Oh, Hallie, I have him muted. Hang on, buddy. Hang on, buddy.
No wonder why you guys are talking over each other.
Hang on.
Mediocre.
All right.
Sorry, buddy.
Mr. Hallie, our Canuck in the house. What's up, eh?
Hello.
What's up?
Hello. How are you? Good day. Good day. How dare you mute me for starters?
Well, probably when we were doing a live stream, you had an open mic and I had to mute everybody. So what were you trying to say? My apologies, sir.
Well, I was trying to think back, Tony, and there was something really interesting, and you guys are kind of dancing around it a little bit today. I don't remember in the last call he talked about CapExes. And that's a very, very important thing not just to glaze over, because if he's bringing that up in this call, that means they're right now in the middle of doing their building assessments, because we're literally starting it for us next month for 2024, right? We have to plan out, all the structural repairs we need to do, any maintenance to the buildings, because the leases that they own, that's just walls really that they're getting, all the internals and everything. And I mean, you bring up a good point, the air conditioners. By the way, half of our business is HVAC, and I mean, a 5-ton air conditioner for a rooftop unit is like probably about $15,000 Canadian. So minus 30% off, that's roughly the US cost. But it's really interesting he mentioned that today, and I was kind of thinking about that after I got off the call.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah.
My good buddy Jer earlier said AMC spent $1 billion on laser projectors. Meanwhile, Adam Aaron told us, and you can look in the 10Qs exactly what they spent on CapEx. And I can promise you, Hallie, it was not $1 billion.
No.
What Adam Aaron told us is they've been reducing CapEx to almost minuscule levels. Carry on with your comment.
And that tells me really, like, reading the fine print, because like I said, I'm literally just about to begin this process. Like, I have 12 branches I have to submit all my CapExes for. Now I'm not an AMC, right? 12 branches is really, a mouse fart in the great scheme of AMC. But that kind of tells me that there's probably a lot of repair down the road coming. And I'm wondering, and that was the only thing I kind of listened to that, and I was like, I don't remember him ever talking about CapEx and structural spending in previous calls.
I think that I think that was like a guilt response because of the amount of AC complaints they had over Sound of Freedom. They're probably having AC problems epidemically in this heat wave that we're having right now. Sound of Freedom got all of the brunt of it because of the conspiracy theorists. But there's probably a lot of AC issues happening around the country.
Well, and honestly, it doesn't take much for a coil or a capacitor on an AC to go. You're running a unit. Yeah, you're running a unit 24/7, right? Eventually, you're going to have to do a coil maintenance or a repair, replacement, or you're going to have to get a capacitor are swapped out. And Mediocre kind of touched on this. Like, he's not wrong. You're waiting for a tech maybe upwards to 2 to 3 weeks before you, especially in peak season, right? And you're also paying a premium on that.
Well, that depends if you have a contract. I would assume that AMC has a contract with a company in the area. So I don't think that they would wait as long, but you don't know the growth of the repair. If it needs a coil, and they're not going to change a $40,000 rooftop. I mean, think about it. They're going to change the coil. Maybe that coil's got to be made.
Part. No, usually, actually, the coils they don't have to be made. Usually, the units are standardized. So usually, I have them on the shelf. I have any given time.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you for a fact. If you got a train, it'll have to be made.
Oh, that's a different story.
There's different brands, but we're talking commercial rooftop package units.
Yeah,
not a condenser that a house would have.
No, the 5 ton and up is commercial. We're a Luxair Guardian house, is what we mostly sell.
We do have HVAC experts in the house, Anya. Yeah, if you guys want to know what's going on with the air conditioners and AMC, you got two of the top experts in Canada and the United States here in this chat.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
That's Steven, because he's still mad at me because of the sports bet thing. I get it. Go Vegas.
Someone else had another question. Let's move on from AC units. But I think that he was reacting to answer your question, Hallie. I think he's reacting to the Sound of Freedom AC, and he wanted to let folks know subliminally that we've been deferring maintenance in an effort to control CapEx, which they need to get a profitable quarter. You start cutting corners, right? You defer maintenance.
So here's the other thing too that he didn't really say, but could be on his mind. If I was in his position, would be on my mind. But think about it. If he's got a lease that's coming up and it has older equipment, he's going to want to renegotiate that lease, because most of the times when we're in a lease, we're responsible for that equipment regardless. We put a new rooftop on it and go bankrupt, that retail store gets a new rooftop, period, right? So we're in charge of that. Most of these things are triple net, I would suspect.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Triple net leases is probably the way they're going. And it's interesting you bring that up. Mediocre is that I'm in the middle of actually renegotiating a lease for one of my bigger warehouses. And we're actually replacing the equipment as part of our, negotiation to keep our rent down. Because I mentioned this in the chat, Tony, earlier. The other thing is interest rates are going up. That means lease rates are going up. I'll give you an example. The lease I'm working on, I used to pay $12 a square. They want $21 a square now.
Holy!
But we're trying to meet in the middle by saying, hey, look at I'll do all the replacements of the heating and all that on a timeline over the 5-year period that we're negotiating. So that way we're taking the cost and then we can kind of space it out and put it on a CapEx versus having it hit our sheets every month. So it's little things like that. And it's like I said, it's just kind of, and I look at the AMC as I would probably say the older buildings are going to need a lot more love. And sometimes cutting corners backfires on you. I have a branch, this branch has been around since the 60s. And I mean, the walls are cracking and everything like that. But sometimes when you cut corners, say, maybe I'll put this off till the next year. Well, then all of a sudden your boiler goes, and now you're bringing a guy in at top dollar on an unexpected CapEx. So there is a risk of not planning and executing CapExes and also holding back CapExes.
So moving on to a different topic, Blazin says, what is next for this channel after AMC? Well, first of all, this was never a AMC specific channel, right? We started doing live streams a couple months in to the channel. We were day trading, momentum trading. I've literally had opportunity cost of not doing that over the past couple months. I'm in some plays right now, but the ability to sit here and not be worried about what is being said about AMC, I'm so ready for that day to come so that we can sit here and get back into momentum trading, day trading, IPOs. I got dozens of requests every day of people coming to me asking me to cover this, that, and the other stock. I would love to get back to doing all of that again. I don't know why people think, oh, this channel, Tony's never going to survive after AMC. I'm not. AMC is a fraction of my portfolio, guys. It's a fraction of what I think about on a daily basis, but it is sucking up a lot of my time because of the bullshit, the drama, the clickbait, the lies, the hopium, and I do it out of love for you guys and not wanting to see you obliterated by listening to idiots. But we will, if you do lose money in this play, we will help you find ways to make money in other plays. We're just going to move on and go back to what we were doing before. And
I'm waiting for the acting channel, by the way.
The acting channel? No, yes. I'm so far, I'm like not even D-rated actor, Hallie. Not my area of expertise. Anya wants a dancing channel though. Just make videos of you and Scarlett dancing. Maybe we will. Maybe. No, I'm not a certified dancing instructor. I'm barely even good. Just good enough to pull somebody, you know, a couple years younger than me. Let's just leave it at that. Single men and single ladies, you know, if you're wondering where to meet people, go to take some fucking dancing lessons. Go take some cooking class lessons. What else? Pam? Who's my single people in the chat? Tell us what's your best. We should have a fucking dating channel. Yeah, I've been married, but I was single for a long time. I know a lot of tricks of the trade. Yoga, Anya says. Yeah, yoga. I don't like bothering chicks at the yoga class though. I went a couple times when I was single. Prometheus says Tony's new sitcom coming 2024. Richard says, yes, I'm a jack of dancing. I'm a master of none. I can do, well, we're in Texas, so you got to know how to do cumbia and any sort of Tejano dancing. Salsa, bachata, I'm fairly competent. Country western, I'm okay. Waltz, you know, country waltz I can do. It's Texas. Country waltz, it's one of my favorite. Regular waltz, no. I ain't about all that. Like the Scent of a Woman waltz, no. I tried, just not that good. What I would like to master next would be West Coast swing. If you, what a fun way to dance just about any damn song there is out there. And when I was single, I met a girl. She's like, Tony, I just can't help myself if I meet a man, especially if he's older, who knows how to West Coast swing. I can't stop myself. I was like, well, that's all the instruction I need. Let me go sign up for some West Coast swing classes. But it's fucking hard, you guys. It's fucking hard. Anyways, go take some dance classes, you single kooks out there.
Get your motorcycle license. You won't be single long.
Motorcycle? So yeah. We had a little family emergency. Scarlett got a phone call at 3 a.m. a couple nights ago. Her dad and her uncle had recently bought motorcycles, and she's very against them. We always joke about it. The more she says not to buy one, the more I say I'm going to buy one. We got a call at 3 a.m. Her uncle, her dad's brother, had been in an accident. And I said, well, 3 a.m, they had to have been drinking. And sure enough, yeah, they were drinking. But we have some very strange intersections here, bridge crossing, you know. They route the traffic over the bridge. Instead of your lanes going like this, they make them cross. It's so stupid to like improve traffic flow. He went into those, he went into the oncoming lane instead of doing the cross. And then he realized his mistake, so he laid it up against the curb. He didn't hit a car. but he smashed his face, no helmet, broke a rib, bruised his spleen, internal bleeding, and he got hospitalized. And I was like, well, he didn't lose a limb, thank God. He's okay. I don't know if he's out of the hospital yet, but the funny thing about that story, and there's nothing funny about a motorcycle accident, but they had been drinking. So Scarlett's dad had his brother, and they're like my age, right? These are old dudes. Had him hop on the back of his motorcycle, and he drove him to the hospital. Can you imagine smashing your head into the pavement, broken rib, bleeding spleen, and you get on the back of another motorcycle drunk to ride to the hospital?
I will tell you,
that's some balls. That's some balls right there.
Yeah, we're going through it up here. A friend of mine, he got his license last year, bought his bike. He was riding home completely sober. He was just on a ride coming home 8 o'clock about Sunday, and somebody bumped into him, and he's right now in the ICU. They don't know if they're going to keep the leg or not, but it's you. I guess the point of my story is 9 times out of 10, it's always the other driver. Like that's the first thing they teach you in the course is you have to watch out for everybody else.
In this case, it was not. But in our dancing community, our group of hundreds of friends, many of them are younger than me, as often happens at country western bars, a lot of 20-somethings, and many of them have motorcycles. I know 2 people in the last couple of years that have lost a leg from motorcycle riding. So I'm still determined. I'm determined I'm going to get a bike, but I probably will not be. It's not going to be my everyday rider. It's going to be like from here to the 7-Eleven just for fun, or out on the country roads.
The other thing they don't tell you too, Tony, is that even if you have like 1 or 2 drinks and then you get on your bike, even though you're under the limit, the adrenaline of riding your bike actually enhances the alcohol, believe it or not. It's totally different.
I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'm going to get a bike, Of course, my wife is even more adamant that I don't get one now that her uncle was severely injured, but there'll be a day. It's just not high on my priority list. More up on the list.
Do you have a bike picked out?
No, I don't have I was looking at them more like a Harley Sports. What is it? The Sportster?
Yeah, that's what my buddy Scotty's first bike. He had the 880 Sportster.
It's not built for cross-country riding. It's just for fun. It looks badass. All blacked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want something like that. Just, a toy. But I'd rather go get the ranch house first, get out of this damn neighborhood, get out of the damn city, and then a boat, because I've had 2 boats, but I don't have one now. And then a motorcycle. So
I'll go back on mute, but take a look at the Indian Scout, Tony. If you want a bike,
yeah,
like
I'm open to suggestions. I'm certainly not sold on anything. I just want something badass.
This one, they have one here at the dealership that I absolutely love, and it's like what you're saying, but the color on it, it's like that military green.
Indian,
and then
what?
all the Indian motorcycle. It's called the Scout.
Okay, Indian Scout. I'll check it out.
Yeah, but the paint job on this thing is so sexy. It's like military green, like tank and all your fenders and stuff, and then the whole engine and everything's all powder coated black, and it looks so good.
I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys, because I tell you when I don't know shit about motorcycles. Okay, so for all you bike riders, I will take every advice you can get. I'm a fucking noob, the noobiest of noobs when it comes to motorcycles.
You want my only real piece of advice for you, Tony?
Yes.
Well, there's 2 pieces. One is like, buy what feels comfortable to you, but then don't buy something with a small engine. Like, because what you're going to find is when you master it, 1 year later, you're like, say you go out and buy a 500cc bike, and then you're like, this thing's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like after a year, and then guaranteed the second year, you're going to go and buy a bigger bike.
Well, so my plan was to buy a cheap used lightweight bike just to get used to it, and then spend the money. Then spend the money when I'm used to riding on the real bike. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah. No, I mean, you could do something like, if I was to say, like, you just want a cruiser bike, right? Like, you're not into a crotch rocket or anything like that.
No, definitely not.
A really good starter bike, and you could probably pick it up relatively inexpensive, is like the Suzuki Boulevard, and you can get that in like a 700cc, which is like middle of the road. So it's not too small that you're going to get bored, but it's not too big that you're going to be overpowered. That's a good one to look at. Look at the, I think it's the M50 is what you want to look at.
Yeah, I don't want a crotch rocket. I'm not going to be speeding in the bike. I just want something that looks tough, looks badass, just for short rides, or maybe, ride out to the hill country, get some barbecue, a nice drive. But I don't need a touring bike, right? I'm not going to be riding cross country. Patriot says, where do I apply to be your boat captain? Yeah, let's see what size boat I get, Mr. Patriot. The largest I've had is a 31 footer. Any boat aficionados here? Maybe one day when I buy the next boat, we'll get a boating channel. I love watching boating YouTube
Jet boats
videos.
are good, Tony.
Huh?
Jet boats are fun. You can
Jet
go in
boats.
3 feet of water.
I had a cheap, no-name, it was called an Intruder. I had a no-name ski boat. That was my first boat. And then I bought the 31-foot Sea Ray, which was a nice boat. I think that one cost me $120,000 back in the day. I think it was a 98. And I sold it right before 9/11 because I was traveling so much. I just wasn't using it. Like before I was traveling, we used it. We'd spend the weekend out on the lake every fucking weekend. We had air conditioning. We had heat. We had bathroom, 3 bedrooms, kitchen. 3 bedrooms, you have your master, you got your back bedroom, and then you got your fold out table. And that was a beautiful boat for a lake, but I'd love to have something 40, 50 foot range that we could take out to the coast. So I love boats. Absolutely love.
I think I sent you a picture, and I sound like a know-it-all because I have all the toys, but we had a 30-foot Carver, and it was perfect. And that actually saved us through COVID, because when everything was locked down, we just go out for the weekend to Muskoka. Like we had our boat up in Midland, which is Muskoka, and you could go pretty much anywhere and just anchor for days. But if I get back, we sold the Carver, but I really want to get a Sea Ray. That'll be the next boat we buy.
Good night, Pam. Thank you. Yeah, my dream would be to pilot a boat out to the Bahamas or somewhere, from the coast, go up the East Coast, go up the West Coast, go out to some island somewhere to do a multi-day trip. I'd love to do that.
You could do a rental. My uncle was doing that for years, but that was sailboats.
Yeah.
That he was doing down in the Caribbean. You go and just him and another boat friend, they'd all go and get this boat and go for like 2 weeks, and you could do that. That's pretty inexpensive trip.
I've taken a couple sailing classes, but I'm by no means a sailing expert. Again, another novice when it comes to sailing, but I'm trainable.
Thought you were an expert at everything, Tony.
No, I'm not.
Tony Montana.
Change the saying to Denaro of all, master of none.
Benedict says, start on a 90s Harley Fat Boy. Yeah, that's a nice bike, the one that Arnold rode. Anyways, I was gonna say I sold that Sea Ray right before 9/11, and the funny thing was, I actually I didn't make money on the boat, but I didn't lose money on it. I had people trying to outbid each other for the asking price. They bid up my asking price on that boat, and so I made out good on it. which is rare when you own a boat. But that was 2000, 2001, and the economy was strong. People had money. It was before 2000, before the bombings happened. And nobody was buying shit after that, remember? But what was I going to say? Oh, when you buy a big enough boat, guys, just a little tax tip. You can write a boat off as a second home on your taxes, if you didn't know, if it has certain criteria. So check into that if you're interested in boating and you're trying to justify to your wife why you need that big ass boat. There are certain criteria, and I did utilize that, where you can write off your boat as a second home.
Get a houseboat.
You don't even need a houseboat. Mine was a wasn't a speedboat, but it was a power boat. You don't need a slow ass square houseboat. That definitely qualifies. But if you have a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen, it can qualify, and you have some write-off benefits from that. Just a little tip. There's an amazing amount of tips on this channel that you can pick up from time to time.
Tony, with your LLC, you could just use it as a company boat.
Yeah, you could. I believe me. You guys, some of y'all know how I daydream about businesses, and I've talked about the land that we're going to buy, and I've already talked to my attorney and accountant about how we're going to tax advantage the land using LLCs. But I was looking at buying a massive boat for our enjoyment, but also creating an LLC to own it and rent it out from time to time for events. So it would be essentially a write-off, but in the time that it wasn't being rented, of course, we have the pleasure use of it. So many things, guys, you can do to make the tax codes and LLCs work to your favor. When you have the money and the means and the right connections, I'm talking attorneys and CPAs to help you figure this shit out. Utilize those tools and utilize the tax code to your advantage. Don't just pay for shit and waste your money. Figure out how to Trump-ize things. Figure out how to use the system to your advantage. But going back to another comment that I saw in the chat and what one of y'all said in the comments here live, I'm also thinking, like, if I get a boat just to have for the lake here, maybe next time I won't buy one. Maybe next time I'll just join. We have several yacht clubs, and don't think I'm being all fancy. That's just what they call it. But it's a boat rental club, and they have nice boats. They have big 31 plus footers, and they have ski boats, and you just sign up for whatever boat you want that day. You want to ski that day, you get a ski boat. You want a party with 6 of your friends, you get fucking power boat. And you pay a monthly fee, and then you don't have any of the downside of owning a boat. You have a monthly fee, and it's not cheap, but all of the obligations of ownership are, you don't have to take those on. So that's a personal choice. Something to think about. Yeah, Punchy, I had my boat on Lake Travis at VIP Marina, which is at Volente Beach. Slot A1. Nice little marina there. Not money advice says, if you file bankruptcy, can you reduce the loan on the boat to current market value? Bankruptcy is not my area of expertise. Although, as we're watching these corporate bankruptcies, I'm writing a new chapter in the book. Tracking corporate bankruptcies. I don't know much else about bankruptcy. George 777, what's up, amigo? All right, do you guys have any other stock questions? I don't want to be up all night because my body wakes up early, even without an alarm. and I do need to get up and change. I changed the front brakes this morning. Tomorrow's morning project, 6:30, 7 a.m. has changed the rear brakes because although I changed the front brakes, I still have that metal on metal grinding sound. So apparently my ear was not correct. It's the rear brakes. Anyways, I bought both brake pads and I'm going to change both. I was just really hoping it was the front. But tomorrow's project is in the morning, change the brake pads before it becomes 100 death degrees here. Anybody else holding SQQQ? Mediocre left. I know oh, you're still here. Mediocre, you still holding your S trips? S triple Qs?
Yeah, I still got it. I'm still here too.
Those, I think they were pushing $19 today. Not too bad.
I did take a peek at it, honestly. I was having thoughts on what I should do. I think I'm going to hold out a little longer.
Kevin says, who is your fellow chatting from Ontario? That was Hallie. He's still here in the chat. Hallie, you're in Ontario?
Yes, sir.
All right. Kevin W., are you in Ontario also? George says he's watching SOUN go up 20% on earnings. Congratulations, Kevin. I'm ready. I'm so fucking ready to be with you guys on the daytime live streams, making those gains with you on the dailies. We're talking about many of them in the Discord, but I miss doing it with you guys on the live streams. Pelosi's Baloney says, if you're going to be building a boat, definitely go through the Coast Guard process. I have no plans to build a boat, although I have built a bear. Remember Build-A-Bear? Kevin says, I'm a Collingwood fellow people. What is Collingwood? Is that a Canada thing?
Maybe yeah, it's a town 45 minutes from here. It's like, if you were to compare, it's like Aspen in Ontario. It's like
Okay.
ski country.
Okay. 1796 says, I'll put you on the fish to win offshore tournament. I did enter one fishing tournament in my life. I didn't even place. I knew zero fucks about what I was doing. I can fish, but I don't know how to fish a tournament. What were you saying, Hallie?
I was going to say he's literally a half hour away from me. So y'all are witnesses if I go missing. Look
All
for
right.
Kevin W.
Y'all should meet up for coffee, but let us know the location in case you go missing. What city in Ontario they want to know, or Baglio? Too much information. We're not going to disclose that. There's a lot of, not you, Mr. Baglio. I know you're cool, but there's a lot of crazy people watching this channel.
I'm seeing some of these guys. They're pretty close. I always just tell people, Tony, I'm north of Toronto. That's usually what I say. And then you have a good time trying to find me.
All right. Prometheus with the real DD here says, if you get a bike, get ready to be a mechanic. Lots of PM and pre-ride inspections. I don't mind that. You know, I do the majority of the mechanic work on our vehicles. Well, I say the majority. Oil change and brakes.
Tony, I'll add to the Prometheus's comment there and say, if you get a boat, be prepared to be a mechanic.
No, I never did any maintenance on my boat. I just paid. I had twin engines in that thing. I know nothing about boat engines.
Break out another 1,000, Tony.
Yeah, I didn't, but I had, I didn't mind paying it. Money was easy in those days.
Do you know my biggest fear, Tony? And my Carver, I only had a single engine. Thank God you had two, because if you ever one went down, you could at least limp your way home. With single engine, you could not.
The main thing I wish I had in a boat is what do you call the little side thrusters?
Oh, the jet. I just call them jets. My buddy had them. He had a 50-foot Carver, and he had the side jet. They're like thrusters. on them.
There
He
were
had
times
those.
like in a high wind event when you're trying to park that boat, like pulling up to a restaurant on the lake, or even getting back in your slip when the wind is galing and, you know, you're trying to turn the boat and back in, but you can't even back in because the wind's pushing you.
Yep.
It would have been nice to have some thrusters, but I did not on my boat.
When you get up to 40, it's like they're handy. Like Sean's boat, we always used to joke because we go out together. His boat was the big one, and mine was always the porch. But to get his boat in, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're getting into 50 plus. You need thrusters at that point.
I would love to do my own PM on a bike, though. That's no problem. I would learn how to be a bike mechanic. And by the way, when I was changing the front brakes today, speaking of benefits of being in the Discord, I was live on a call with a bunch of you guys in the Discord this morning, and I ran into a little problem changing the front brake pads. And I've done it 100 times. No, I'm exaggerating. I've done it many times on my vehicle, and I ran into a little problem. And thank you to this family, this team. Huh? He said he's on a team. They're all being paid. Thank you to you guys who gave me the tips on. I see Maximus dropped off, but Maximus, I think, threw me out a tip and got me right back into getting that brake pad change out done quickly. I was struggling with a locked up bolt on the calipers, and you know, yes, I know about leverage and all that. He's like, well, but I didn't have room under the wheel well. He's like, well, why don't you turn the wheel, Tony, so that you can take your leverage bar from your jack and I don't know. I just didn't think of that. And sure enough, as soon as I went over and jacked up the other side of the car, then turned the wheel 25 degrees, slipped that long bar arm from the jack onto my wrench. Oh man, we were back in action in 2 seconds. I love, you guys have helped me on so much. Another guy I was talking with in the Discord helped me on an electrical project, an upgrade I was doing to the security here in the house. So many fucking things that we talk about in the Discord. So many walks of life that you guys come from. We got Rolf was working on a garage door project today. We have AC, heating, plumbing experts. We got stock experts. We got shorting experts. We got options experts. We got keto experts. I love all of you guys, and I love this community that we've built and the wide variety of interests that you guys have, and the amazing sharing of information. So thank you from me. And yeah, bow thruster. Thank you, Punchy Nuts. And maybe one day I'll come to you guys for some motorcycle advice. Dambrick says that was me. Were you were the electric? You were the electric consultant, right, Dambrick? We got fasting experts. Yes, we got fasting experts. George 777 says GME is the next to go in history. Next to go what? Up or down, George? I'm really worried about GameStop. Next quarter, early September is going to be key. I notice my good friends that cover GameStop don't want to talk about it. They will make every video in the world except a GameStop video right now. They don't want to talk about GameStop. NFT marketplace going away, CEO fired, CFO quit. It's amazing how they just put out videos bashing every other ticker, but they don't want to concentrate on GameStop right now. Why is that?
AAA titles coming, Tony.
Why is it? What's coming?
There's no really solid AAA titles.
I know. All these GameStop elitists are going to have their moment. I'm just I'm just biding my tongue, being patient. I don't like kicking people in advance, but I will kick them when they're down. If they've been an asshole. If you've been an asshole to me, I'm very patient. Very, very patient. GameStop will have its day, and I'm not sure it will be the day they're hoping for. But I hope it does. You know, I don't want anybody to lose, but the people that are being dicks, well, I feel like karma has a way of coming around. Yes, Crismo, we have weightlifting experts also. We have a lot of great conversations about weightlifting. By the way, I hurt my back doing deadlift a couple days ago. We'll probably end with this, but I'm pushing really, really hard to get back to 300-pound deadlift, and I probably am getting a little bit over exuberant and a little bit detached from my actual age. So I'm pushing up the weight that I'm lifting on deadlift, and I'm pushing up the sets more than I should. And on my 10th set 2 days ago, I tweaked my lower back. You know that famous pop, pop, pop? If you've been deadlifting for a while, you know what I'm talking about. Pop, pop, pop. It's like, oh shit. I've never in my life had a problem with deadlift. But I'm pushing really hard right now and probably getting over my skis. So that it's not a permanent disability. I'm still walking. I was in severe pain for 12 hours. I'm still in residual lingering pain, but not so bad that in a couple days I'll be okay. But that was just a reminder. Take it easy, Tony. You're getting old as dirt. You're not a fucking Olympian. So, 20-something-year-old Super Steven's already deadlifting 300. You'll catch him, Tony. Just take it easy. Take it easy, old timer. But I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna beat a mediocre on the pull-up challenge. I'm gonna be doing 10 fucking badass pull-ups in the next 2 weeks. I'm at 8 beautiful. Not just, I'm talking clearing the bar like it's made out of air. 8 beautiful pull-ups right now. 10 is just around the corner. Steven is going to go down on the pull-up challenge.
I love the confidence.
I'll film for you guys just so you can laugh at me doing 10 strict pull-ups, and then the next goal is to get 10 pull-ups with 45 or 50 pound weighted belts. So that's the plan. But let's get back to 10 pull-ups. I was just laughing at myself. At the beginning of July, I could barely do 3 crappy pull-ups. Couldn't even barely get my chin over the bar. 3. That's how out of shape I had gotten. And I'm at 8 beautiful pull-ups right now. So 10 is around the corner by the end of this month. It is disappointing how long it takes you to rebuild your back muscles to do a decent 10 pull-ups. But yeah, I'm not very patient. Deadlift, I let my impatience get ahead of me. Anya says, you are more like compost. You have lots of life. Just need to turn me over and water me, Anya. Super Steven says 10 pull-ups is beast mode. Will I take your 30 to 60 day challenge? Was that the insanity thing, Steven? What would remind me real quick in the chat? What was the 30-day challenge? I will never squat 600 pounds. No, John. I think the most I've ever squatted in my life. I'm built more like a long, lanky soccer player. I'm not short, squat, massive squatter. At my age, pushing 60, if I can squat 225, 5 sets of 5, I'm okay with that. I have a ways to go to get back to that. Steven, what is the 30 to 60 day challenge? I'm just short of 6 foot, Joey. 5'11 ish. Maybe 5'10 after I squat. Just kidding. Bill Biv DeVoe says, I'm not joking when I say HGH will take care of all that. Okay, how do you get a fucking, I don't know how you get a prescription for HGH. BBD, tell me the secret. I'm not opposed to taking a little bit of suppy-sup at my age, but how the hell do you get it? Like, it's not something you can just walk in and ask for.
This other side of Texas, Tony. You know that spot.
What?
Mexico.
Go down to Mexico? Yeah. I need to phone call Teddy. A lot of people think since I did a live stream with Teddy that I'm on steroids. Teddy and I did not talk about steroids or HGH, although I would talk to him about HGH. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm not taking anything. BBD says just go to Mexico. All right. Well, maybe I should. We'll just go down there for lunch. Oh, yes, sir. Can you tell us why you were only in the country for? We noticed we're tracking your license plate. We noticed you were only in Mexico for 90 minutes. Oh yeah, I had to run down to the pharmacy. I mean, we just really wanted some real enchiladas.
Good tacos.
We wanted some enchiladas.
See the plastic bag. Blame Scarlett.
Steven says 30-60 challenge. Okay, I remember now, Steven. For every 30 minutes of sitting, you must perform 60 seconds of moderate to high intensity cardio. Steven, I'm going to tell you what I said to you earlier now that you reminded me. I am swimming every other day for half a mile, which is about 30 minutes of swimming. So I'm either in the gym or I am swimming. That is my commitment for August. No carbs for August, although I did have 2 beers today. Forgive me. I'm eating meat only, meat, eggs, and cheese. Low carb cheese. Minimal cheese, 1 ounce a day for the entire month of August. And I'm doing weights or swimming every fucking day of the week. Except today and yesterday, my cardio and exercise today was changing the brakes, and that fucking wiped me out. Which sounds shitty, but my back was hurting from lifting the tires and my back injury. So I'm just taking it easy for a couple days. I'm anxious to get back in the gym. I was able to do pull-ups okay. I'm sure I can do bench okay. I can't do anything that involves bending over. So like the barbell rows is out. I'm not going to do squats. I'm not going to do deadlift until I feel no pain. But I will do some extra back. I'm neglecting, let's be honest, I'm neglecting my core mobility. Normally, like in the past couple of years, on my off days, I go do core, ab, lower back, planks, leg lifts, things like that. I have not been doing that for the past 5 weeks. I need to get back into doing that. That's probably why I injured myself. Do not neglect your core. And
I'll throw 2 cents in on that. There's actually 2 machines at my gym for core, and I make sure I do a quick set on both as my kind of like finale of my workout.
Which machines?
There's the one that, you know, the crunch machine where you can put the weight on, right? And you're just crunching in. I don't know the exact name of it. I'll try and send a picture of it. Then there's another one that's more of a side-to-side twist that you can add weight. They're just universal machines.
Yep.
Right? But they have the plates on them. Yeah, so I'll go in, I'll do a couple sets on the one where you just pull down, pull up kind of thing. The other one that I like, have you seen it? It's a stationary machine that you lay on like this, and it holds your knees and your feet, and your trunk is extended like this, and you just basically, you fold and then you just lift up
your trunk?
No, I haven't seen that one. This one's like more of a. Do you know when you do the leg extensions, like front leg extensions?
Yeah.
It's the same concept, the same thing. You sit into it, and then you have your two handles above your head, and your legs below, and you're crunching down, but you adjust the weight up.
We have one of those, yeah, and we have the side to side one. The cool thing about this stationary, whatever you call this, is you can, once you get built up just doing body weight, then you can hold a plate and do these. You hold a plate up against your chest and bend down and then lift up. That is excellent for your lower back too.
Mm-hmm.
Steven says this live stream was 2 hours and 40 minutes. You owe us 4.5 minutes of cardio. Do you want to see me drop and do 4.5 minutes of burpees, Steven, to finish up this night? Anya's like, yeah, we want to see it. Roman chair, DM. Isn't the Roman chair the one that you sit in with your elbows locked in and you lift your legs up? I was thinking that was a Roman chair. The one I'm thinking about, you lay down on, and your head to your waist is hanging, and your hips and your ankles are locked in, and you just fold down and push up. I thought the Roman chair was like where you jump back into it and you lift your knees to chest. Kevin says, you know what's good for your back? Sleep. I love it. Yeah, BBD, hit me up if you got some tips on the HGH. I've never taken it, not opposed to trying it. But I don't want a big old bubble gut either. You know?
It's a slippery slope, Tony. Just be careful with that stuff.
I don't want that steroid belly. I'm trying to shrink my belly back down to 32 inches. And I have heard the HGH it makes your organs grow inside your body, not that organ. Stop those dirty thoughts. I don't need my stomach and my intestines and my spleen and my liver. I don't need all that shit growing so that I have a big old steroid belly. Good night, Anya. Thank you.
Hey, Tony, I think you're thinking the vertical chair. That's the one where you raise your knees. The Roman one it's got your base and then two stems up, and you can either lay forward, crunch down, or you can come up, if that makes any sense.
All right, I'll look it up. I have been neglecting that machine. I've been neglecting doing planks. I've done a couple of planks. We used to do, I've mentioned this channel to you guys before, YouTube channel Thenx, THENX. Chris Heria is the content creator. He's got a fucking killer ab blaster routine. And me and my son, the one that's in college right now, when he went to the gym with me before he started college, he'd go to the gym with me, and then on our off days, we'd go do the ab routine. It's like 15 minutes, but we would be dying on a 15-minute core exercise routine. So check out Thenx, THENX, Chris Heria, an idol of mine for calisthenics and body weight exercises.
Tony, I'm going to put this in the chat for you. There's a really good keto guy, Thomas Delorier. If you ever follow him.
I watch a couple of them. I don't know if I know Thomas.
He's really good. He gets into everything. Like, even if you're like stuck, like say you're traveling or something, he's like, here's a couple options. If you're stuck and you have no options, like go to Wendy's and grab a Baconator, scrape the burger off and throw it onto a salad, right? But he also does a lot of clean keto too.
Okay.
There's a ton of different ways. He's pretty good. I follow him a lot.
Send me a reminder on a DM, please.
I like Punchy Nuts. Put it in there too, actually.
Joey says, how about cardio? My cardio right now is swimming. And that is definitely challenging me on both cardio and calorie burn. So I'm swimming half a mile, which is I'm on a 25-meter pool or 25 yards. I swim one side and back. That's, I guess, 2 laps. And I'm already heavy breathing by then. But I'll knock out 10 laps, and then I'll rest for a couple minutes, and I'll knock out 10 more. That takes me about 30 minutes or so, because I'm just doing it for extra calorie burn. I enjoy biking. I've got a mountain bike. It's a hybrid, so you can use it on street or off-road. And then I enjoy running also. So I like to rotate, swim, bike, run. But it is brutal. It's brutally hot here right now, guys. It's 103 every day. I'm getting excessive heat warnings coming on my phone. Don't be outside before 9 p.m. So I'm going swimming the rest of this summer. I love being in the sun. I love the water. I love being tan. And for the rest of the summer, I will be swimming. And then when it gets cooler, I'll add back in the biking and the running.
Hey, Tony, when you're doing the pool stuff, do you ever do the water aerobics?
No. I've seen water. I've seen them in my gym. But right now, yeah, they have the old people, way older than me, with the little floaty things doing the. I'm sure, you know, if you're mobility impaired or joint issues, that's a great exercise. But it's actually water's a great resistance too, right? Good Lord, man, it is unbelievable. I just do regular free stroke. What do you call the free? Is it freestyle, free stroke? The normal swimming.
Yeah, just freestyle.
Swimming. I do freestyle swimming. And I'm not in any hurry. I'm just trying to burn calories and get a full body exercise, and it works a lot. My delts hurt, my back hurts, my legs are sore. It's a great exercise. Even though I'm in the gym every other day, the swimming is still challenging. I'm not a professional swimmer. I took lessons as a kid, but I don't even know I forgot how to do that damn flip when you hit the wall. You know, that little underwater flip they do. I used to know how to do it, but it wouldn't even matter right now, guys. I'm so winded. By the time I get to the wall, I got to stop for 30 seconds. That's how bad my cardio is.
Do you have just days where you go and just do straight cardio and that's it?
The whole month of June, I was doing long cardio, like up to 10 miles. Was it 10 miles? I forget. I posted a few of them in Discord, but yeah, I mean, I like doing cardio.
Yeah.
But
I usually do it at the end of my set. So
I don't do it really on gym days. Between sets, I'll do laps. We have a track around the gym. I'll go walk some laps just to get some extra steps in. But I'm not trying to do cardio on gym days. I'm doing it on my off days. All right.
Mine's more of a cool down.
BBD says, I've taken HGH for years without issue. How old are you, Mr. DeVoe? You're taking an amount that your body used to produce. You're not taking it to win World's Strongest Man. Yeah, that is an excellent point. But I don't even know what dose. I know nothing about HGH. One of my nephews he was below the curve on his height, and they gave him HGH. And that worked out great for him. He's as tall as my son now, same age. So yeah, they do give it to kids. They're having some deficiency. And he didn't get a bubble gut.
Moon face, that's the other thing. Moon face.
What is that?
It's called moon. They used to call it moon face, where like your face like puffs right up.
From HGH?
Yeah, any kind of steroid. Some people get it.
I don't know.
I was on prednisone once, just for something I was going through. And I'll tell you, that's like a form of steroid, right?
Yeah. I think our dog's on prednisone.
Yeah. So the first thing with that is they'll give it to you and you just go, but you can't just quit cold turkey. You got to wean down on it. But I'll tell you, with the first day that I took the prednisone, I cleaned the house in like an hour from top to bottom, like getting a baseboard. I was like so full of energy and pepper. Oh man.
Is there a steroid I can take? Like, can I like slip myself one of the dog's prednisones to forget about this back pain?
I don't know, but it sounds like a hell of a live stream. I think we should try it.
Yeah, BBD. HGH is not a steroid. I agree. It's a hormone, but not a steroid. I agree with you on that. But I'm no expert, not a doctor. But based on the limited reading, I agree with you.
I'm gonna defer. I hope if Super Steven's still in here. I think wasn't HGH with like Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa were taken back in the day.
I don't know.
When they were doing the home run competitions, like I mean, they got massively huge.
Yeah, and Lance Armstrong, remember him? He was taking all those cheating drugs.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyways, I'm not trying to be an Olympian, guys. Like I said, I'm trying to age gracefully and not embarrass my wife since she is a couple years younger than me. But more importantly, I think as we grow older, continuing to move, continuing to retain muscle mass, and continuing to eat right, that is critical. And for all this goofy talk about us talking about it, I hope a couple of you are inspired to look into how to eat healthier and add a little bit of movement into your life, not be couch potatoes. And it has been difficult for me, like sitting here, trading, researching. I was falling into a bad habit of not being active, and I love being active. So we broke that mold. Now that the knee injury is healed, June 1st, we broke that mold, and you're going to see some amazing things by the end of this year, as long as I don't kill or injure myself in the gym between now and then. Body fat, just a little preview, is down now from 26% to the 18-19% range. So good progress for a little bit over 2 months. My goal.
Your BMI, Tony?
Huh?
Do you measure your BMI?
Yeah, I have
like your body mass index?
I think it's called a Tanita Ironman scale, and it's got a body fat measurement system on it. It's not as accurate as going in for the hospital scan. What's it called? The DRX or that
I don't know.
It's not as accurate as a scan or weighing yourself underwater, but it lets you know your progress. I know that much is true. Like if you started out at 26%, you see the percentage going down every month. You might not be 18-19%, but you definitely are down 7-8%, right? So
yeah, I just like using my clothes as my gauge. I don't get into the BMIs and stuff like that.
Yeah, my goal is to get back into the 32-inch pants. I've got a closet full of them that I can't put on.
Oh, you better get in shape now, because I've been listening to a couple of streams and there's been some child talk. Once you have a kid, then your dad bod kicks in, bud.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, and Scarlett does want a kid.
I can loan you mine for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not super excited about that, but we'll see. I'll let y'all know. Not Money Advice says, get organic blueberries, kale, whole lemon, apple, and cucumber. I love all that shit. I was doing a cranberry lemon vinegar, apple cider vinegar drink every morning. I love kale salads with some fish or chicken thrown on it, or even a steak. But this month only, in an effort to reduce the body fat and the weight, I'm doing 0 carbs. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting 10 grams of carbs a day, but that's pretty strict.
That's for mostly your veg?
That is a little bit from cheese, a little bit from egg, a little bit from sauces. You know, might throw a little bit of condiment on some food. Like if I made some fish and I put a little bit of red chili sauce on it, you know, a couple grams of carbs. But yeah, we're headed the right direction, so stay tuned. I'm not going to bore you guys with videos. This is not a fitness channel, but I'll keep you up to date. Crismo, did Steven chat something? He said, Super Steven, Tony will owe 6 minutes of intense exercise soon. Tony, if you don't quit this live, you're going to owe us 6 minutes of intense cardio. Tomorrow, I promise you, I will go swimming. Today, my cardio is changing those fucking front brakes. DM says, TRT with a script, chat with your PCP. Bell Biv does rent a kid. Don't drink beer, Mike, I know. I've mostly not been drinking since June 1st. Today was a little bit of celebration for positive earnings. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to be here all night. It is not quite 11:45. I think that was a decent... What time did we start? We started at 8:45. 5 more minutes. I'm like OCD that we end on a 3 hours. So let's go 4 more minutes. Throw me some topics. Questions. Tony, do you really have an organic gardening channel? Yes, I do. Go subscribe. Texas Organic Gardening. I think that's what it's called. I got so damn busy with this channel that I neglected that one. But thank you for everybody who's been advertising that channel. Go check it out. I will be posting some additional gardening and related stuff on that channel. That fucking channel blew up after I left it alone. I think my top video on that one is approaching 700,000 views, which is 700,000 views. How to build your own home water collection system. It's stupid what people will watch. But I enjoy that stuff, right? I enjoy learning how to do new things and how to have sustainable living. I'm not just a fucking stock guy. Have a lot of interests and I enjoy sustainable living. You know, I got chickens, we got the garden, we got compost, we got rainwater collection. I got solar powered system to water my garden. Just how to make life easier and how to improve yourself as a man to learn to live sustainably if shit hits the fan. So go check out, go sub, help me get over 7,000 subs on that channel. How do I get 670,000 views and I don't even have 7,000 subs? I don't know. I got blessed by the YouTube algorithm gods.
Hey, those came during COVID when everybody was looking for that kind of stuff.
I did all of that shit in COVID because all my other businesses went to shit. And I was like, well, I don't really need money, but I got a lot of free time. Let's do some shit in the backyard. So that's what I did. And yes, all the videos are very rudimentary. That was my very first, I think that was my first YouTube channel. I've had several, still have several. This is not the only one, but this is the only one I'm posting to. I need to get back to the gardening one because it is pretty active. And I enjoy it. But someone said in the chat, is Salt Lick barbecue worth its weight in gold? DM. I'll tell you what. Now I've tasted just about every barbecue in the local area. Back in the day, Salt Lick was the only thing worth going to get in this area. And it was BYOB, which we loved, especially back in college days. You could bring a fucking cooler of beer to a barbecue restaurant. How cool is that? But it was a 45-minute drive. Now, since then, they've improved the highways and taken out stoplights, and you can get there in 30 minutes or less from where I live. And they have on-site alcohol now, which is even better. But the thing that I like about Salt Lick, is it the best? No, not the best. They have live music, which is cool. They have a great golden mustard vinegar sauce, which so good. Is their barbecue, the meat, the best? It is not. For me, the thing to go to Salt Lick for is the sauce. And if you ever come through Austin Airport, there is a Salt Lick barbecue in the airport. I recommend you get a barbecue plate or a barbecue sandwich from the Salt Lick barbecue place in the airport, because it's too damn far to go to the restaurant. But top-notch barbecue in Austin now. We have had the neighboring small towns open up locations in Austin. So you have what the fuck is it called? Shit, I can't think of the Terry Black's. That is one of them. Terry Black's, and his brother has another one called Black's Barbecue. We have the other well-known one that all of you know if you're barbecue fans, but there's a 6-hour wait, so I don't go to that one. And then Micklethwaite. That's a mouthful. Micklethwaite. Thwaite. Terry Black's, Micklethwaite's, and the other one that I can't think of, they're all the one that everybody writes up in the magazines. They're all 10 out of 10s in Texas barbecue. Just go to Terry Black's when you come here. You're never going to regret it. You're never going to wait in a line. They're never going to be out of anything. And if I have guests in town, I will go to Terry Black's or Black's Barbecue. And alternatively, if we've already tried those all together, we'll go to Micklethwaite's. Almost no barbecue restaurant in Texas has indoor seating. That is the bitch in Austin. I don't know why it's that way. They're all outdoor seating. And when it's 103 degrees, Bubba, you better have some beer. Let me look up. It's bothering me that I can't think of the name. Top Austin Barbecue. You guys all know this guy. Franklin's. Fuck, I couldn't think of it. Aaron Franklin. Franklin's Barbecue. Fan-fucking-tastic. Now, you can order a brisket from Franklin's for about $200 and have it shipped to you for about a 6-pound brisket. It's quite a rip-off. But if you're ever in town, bring your lawn chairs, bring your cooler of beer, get there at 6 a.m., wait till they open at 11. You're going to be in a line with a couple hundred people. Nah, skip all that shit. Just go to Terry Black. Same barbecue, no wait. But if you must go to Franklin's, I'm not going to fault you for trying it. But the OG move is just to go to Terry Black's. Saheb says, Goodman mentioned a reason why AMC posted earnings early. I did not catch that. Was that the moment that my call dropped? By the way, if you have other Texas barbecue places that I need to go check out, let me know. I'm not opposed to a road trip. There are some other good ones. Cooper's is, I think, pretty well known in Texas. They opened up a location in downtown Austin, which is pretty decent. They have a massive fire pit with all the meats right there cooking on the open pit as you walk by to go order, but the parking sucks in downtown, so I don't like going there. Anyways, if you are ever in Austin, yes, DM says if you're coming to F1 in Austin, if you're ever in Austin for any reason, shoot me a note, shoot me a comment, shoot me a DM, hit me up on Twitter. I'm a real person. I'm the same fucking bastard that you see here on lives. But in real life, I will also talk politics or whatever else you want. And we'll try and drag Scarlett along, although she's reneged on the last couple lunch meetups. She values her weekend rest time, but, you know, maybe we can twist her arm. If you're ever in town, hit me up. It is 11:48. We are at 3 hours plus. Tomorrow is another trading day. It's still early in the week. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully you got some entertainment, some value, maybe some education. If you're joining in late, there was a lot of very sobering real talk about AMC stock in the beginning of this live stream. Go back and watch that when you have time. Give it a thumbs up. Share the channel. Hit the sub if it's your first time here. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being real. Thank you for supporting the last channel, giving you fact-based fundamental analysis. Hashtag evolve. Have a good night.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control